going.
And welcome back to, I almost said the wrong name, Brine and Tide, the D&D 5e campaign, second session. Last time, the crew, or the group, met each other as assorted passengers on the ship known as the Driftwood Dolphin, taking a less traveled trade route to circumvent some possible naval tensions between two of the larger factions. But in doing so, they ran afoul. Well, for that, they also fished up one of the other players, an entity named Rayan. But seemingly, not long after fishing up Rayan, the ship became very popular with some of the more aggressive things dwelling beneath the sea, as first undead swarmed the boat, and then a few days later, combined force of Sahagan and Marrow attacked during a supernaturally summoned storm, according to your storm cleric, and unfortunately sinking the ship, but thanks to the group's intervention, a good portion of the crew was able to be rescued, and drifting on the waves, you washed up a few hours after dawn on the shores, on the beaches of an unknown island. They're they're taking stock and catching their breath after swimming for many hours. The group was approached from the jungle by a tiefling man wearing not ragged clothing, but obviously well-worn clothing. Stepped out. And he goes, "Oh, so you're the new ones that washed up, huh?" And that's about where we start off. Um, this tiefling, he kind of steps out of the tree line, not seeing Rayan as she was hiding in the shrubs, but
an unfortunate natural 20.
Yeah, he's got like a pack on and just like a machete in hand, but he's not holding it aggressively. Just looks like someone traveling through a jungle, as he's kind of looking at appraising the group and looking up and down the beach.
I suppose we are. Does this happen often?
And he laughs and he goes, "Well, most of us wouldn't be here if, I'm gonna guess you got hit by a storm and your ship got swarmed."
That would be right.
Just kind of sighs and goes, "Yep. So, yep. Welcome to Rondo." As far as I can tell, you'll be stuck here with the rest of us until. And he just kind of goes, "Who knows?" And he just kind of throws up his hands. And he goes, and then he's like kind of looking over the crew, or the group of people, as the captain starts walking up, and he goes, "Normally it's just like a few or a handful of people. This is the biggest group I've seen wash up safely." And the captain, she kind of steps forward and she's like, "Well, I'd like to say it's because my crew is well trained, but we did have some help from." And she kind of looks around and she goes, "Oh shit, that's right." And now, like, several of the other crew are like pop their heads up, like, "Oh crap," thinking she's been taken by the jungle.
She was here.
It was just a few moments ago.
And this tiefling kind of looks around and he goes, "Well, normally I just combing the beaches after the weird storms like that to see if anyone or anything's washed up that can be salvaged or rescued. But he kind of like looks back towards the jungle and he goes, I really wouldn't recommend going in there by yourselves without a guide."
dangerous here then?
And he just kind of does that like chuckle. He's like, "Oh yes," and he kind of like now that you've been talking to him, he does seem like he's had a kind of a rough life. There's some scars, older and newer. Not like anything gruesome, but it looks like he's had an active time trying to survive here at least. Because you heard the shriek, "Don't be out in the open." If you recall, not long before he showed up, there were a few people heard the sound of wings and the like large wings in the distance before a piercing shriek ripped out over the air. Not long before he showed up. He goes, "That would be the Anzu. Don't
Ooh.
go into the open."
So you've got
And he
monsters here.
kind of points off in the direction further in towards the island. You saw it when you were floating in, but here near the tree line, it's kind of hard to see. He goes, "That big mountain, yeah, its nest is up there. We don't go over there." It's and he kind of looked at you, Corona. He goes, "That's why some of our winged friends don't try to take off on their own. It doesn't like other things flying around." So, he's just kind of saying this warning. He's like, "So if you're gonna fly, stick below or to the canopy." You're kind of gestures to your coloration. You're kind of flashy.
Yeah.
Noted.
And he just kind of adjusts his pack as he's looking up and down the beach. He goes, "Well, normally by myself it's a few hours trip to get there, but with this big a group it might take us until evening, so if y'all don't want to spend your day on the beach exposed like this, I can try to escort you back to the village where some of the other people that have washed up here have just grouped together. Better to be safe together than struggling alone, right?" And you can tell he's like, this guy talks a lot, maybe because he doesn't really get new people to talk to often.
Oh.
Is there anything like in the shipwreck that we could like salvage before we go, or is it pretty much busted?
It was mainly a lot of debris. Like most of the useful stuff was the packs and stuff y'all grabbed, equipment. But the captain does have the crew pick up what they can. Like there's some useful ropes, and like the tiefling, he even suggests, he's like, "Oh yes, get ropes, sailcloth, anything that that would be useful back at the village." And the captain and the first mate Rolf, they get the remaining crew to pick up whatever's useful that they floated in on. And it was, I believe, 9 crew members, including Rolf the captain, and then your group, and then the gnome, which I don't think anyone has gotten his name yet because he's pretty standoffish, but also the half-orc Bradar, the man with the clockwork arm.
Man with the clockwork arm.
Yeah, so, like he's been like working on trying to get the salt water out of his arm, like as soon as y'all made it to shore.
Oh, that's gonna suck.
Yeah.
This tiefling man, he's like, takes his pack and he's like gathers up some stuff and like, it looks like he's maybe been along some other beaches because there's like a bundle of rope. You see like a lantern that probably came from the ship that's just got a cracked glass hanging off of it, and it just looks like he's like a beachcomber, or he would just like look like a beach scavenger if he wasn't so worn. And the captain goes up to him. She goes, "Well, I'm Captain Sternrudder," and he shakes her hand and he goes, "Oh, Jared." And
Yeah, good to know.
he goes, kind of like, it's like, all right, just in case we get separated, we're going to be heading mostly north, with kind of northwestish, as he like goes down to the sand and like draws a little outline, and he goes, "This is, nope, there it is." He goes, "This is where we're trying to go," and I'll reveal a little bit more of the map. He goes, further up, there's a village. He goes, there's an inlet that's mostly cliff. We keep our village up on top of the cliff to keep away from the water. But if you get lost and you run into a river, follow the flow of the river. It should take you to the river or to the village in case anyone gets separated. Just watch out for the river. There's hungry things in there. There's hungry things everywhere, but you know, he just kind of sighs and he goes, "Welcome to Rondo."
Blood. Nothing.
Oh, no.
Sorry. Only Callie would get that, I
I
think.
got it.
No,
Yeah.
I got it too.
Rondo
Yeah.
of blood.
Yeah. Sorry.
He goes, if you get really lost, just follow the island around and eventually you'll get to it. Or, follow the coast, but that could be a little, again, you don't want to be around the water too much. Sometimes they send parties, as he kind of like looks out at the water distrustfully.
Bats in the woods.
Yeah, I'm just going to put his token down. Where did I put his token?
So we're like down here, right?
Yep, you're at that little boat wreck. That's to be where you washed ashore. I did not actually give him his token. Oops.
And I am just like right here, like just into the green, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you're not far. You're probably still
No.
listening to all this.
Yeah.
What do y'all want to do? Just
Right now, Quiet Hearts wants to look for Rayan. It's like they're busy, like, because they got fucking jostled by the shipwreck, just tightening all their armor and loose bits so it doesn't jangle or fall off. And then they're gonna just look around and basically walk a perimeter looking for Rayan.
okay. You want roll a perception check?
Probably gonna fail, because didn't you get a nat 20?
Yeah, but I mean,
Yes,
you might get a
but-
nat 2 also.
Oh my god.
I took my advantage, but that's still hilarious. Anyways.
Fuck.
So I guess it's up to Rayan if you find her or not. But
You,
they come really close to where you're hiding.
yeah. What gives her away is you hear a gasp and like the like bushes rustling as she has just noticed plants.
So she's over there poking the leaves or something?
Yes, exactly. She is enamored with leaves.
Okay.
So yeah,
well,
you see Rand there.
Charting towards her, the paladin is going to just kind of lean over and go, "Hello, Ryan.
She squeaks and like ducks.
We have found someone who lives on the island. They will take us to better places."
Uh,
What was that?
uh.
There will be
Island?
more. Just points to the land island.
She like pats the ground.
I'm just going to use Jaren's token to show where you're all heading.
Yes, this is the ground. We are on an island.
She looks around nervously, like visibly nervous.
I'm just gonna point at the grass. This is grass. And to the leaves. These are leaves.
Leaves. She plucks one off. And then she eats it.
They are usually not tasty.
Roll a Constitution check or save.
Constitution saving throw.
God.
Oh
damn.
yeah, it's fine.
27.
Tasty even. You know, first time probably quite hurt seeing someone just pull off like a palm frond and just start chewing on it. But to Rayan, it's crunchy. It's a brand new texture and flavor she's never had before.
Yeah, she like starts chewing it. It's like, mmm.
Just head
Leaf.
tilt. Rayan has like kelp on her, right?
It like there's like little kelp parts sticking out from between her right arms, wrapping.
So it's not obvious.
It looks like kelp sticking out from between the wrappings of the
Okay.
ribbon on her arm.
Okay, then just gonna point to the water. He goes, "It's like dry kelp."
Oh, dry kelp
They are plants.
ants. Okay, when you see her left arm, my bad.
Just gonna offer hand to her. We will be moving to where there are more plants.
She looks at their hand and frowns. Bad water.
Yes, we are going more into the island.
She like tries to talk to you in deep speech again, and looks visibly frustrated that she doesn't know the words.
Yeah. Just doesn't understand deep speech, just kind of head
Yeah.
tilt.
She reluctantly takes your hand.
Just gonna take her and lead her back to the group. And just wave to the others. I have found the rain.
He holds up the palm frond leaf
They have found food, I think.
and munches it again.
I'm not going to make any comment about that at all.
Crunch.
Not the weirdest thing I've seen eaten. I've eaten weirder.
Just tilts head. He goes, "Does that taste good?"
Probably tastes novel.
Yeah. She nods. Good.
Quite harsh. Is gonna lean over and take a bite themselves.
Oh no!
It's tough. It's fibrous. It's just ugh. Have you ever tried to chew on like a palm frond? They're
Yes.
not pleasant.
I actually have, because I was a child once.
Yeah. Yeah,
Just-
they're all over here, so same.
Yeah. Just like they just very slightly move the mask and the over their mouth. Like you don't really see anything, but there's a crunch taken out of the frond. And just like, this is very chewy. I think it needs to be cooked.
Jared's just kind of watching. He goes, "Well, One thing that's neat about this place is plenty of fruits and interesting stuff to eat back at the village. So
A
she's
single eye
excited
goes
over
wide.
palm frond. She's gonna love some of the cooking.
Single eye goes wide.
Kurano is just
Hey.
making awkward eye contact with Rio. What's your character's name again? TT.
Yeah.
Ryoko.
Ryoko. She's just kind of giving her like that look that you like she's looking into the camera at the office, but she's looking at you.
Ryoko shrugs with a sly little smile, takes a whisk of her ever lower flask of whiskey, and then reaches into her ninja robes, procures a small box, pulls out some dried leaves from it, stuffs into a pipe, and lights up.
Fair.
Tonight on Brine and Tide, hell yeah, leaves.
I mean, the loose title for this episode would be Jungle Time.
Perfect.
So the captain gets her crew members assembled, and Jaren just kind of looks to everyone and goes, "Well, if you'll follow me, try to be as quiet as you can and stick close. Do not get out of sight.
Do you want
Very
stealth
easy to get lost here."
Oh no, do you want stealth checks?
So yes, we are going to do a group stealth check.
Right.
Oh no! I got
This-
very lucky last time.
Somebody can help my shitty stealth.
A 6.
Alright, never
19.
mind.
Oh, 11, never mind. 22. 19.
You have breastplate, right, Toronto? So you don't have disadvantage.
Right, it's a breastplate, so I don't have any disadvantages on stealth, so.
6.
Ryan's too happy enjoying the leaves to the plant life.
Yeah, there's a loud crunch.
Oh God,
Oh.
Gane.
Oh, no!
Oh no!
And I was joking with God. This is so funny because I was just joking last night with DZ about Iwana's gonna have fun tromping through the jungle, this dense jungle, with him being 9 feet tall. And lo and behold,
The trees are just bending before
Congratulations,
him.
you're louder. You're louder than Rayan's crunching of a leaf.
okay, let me roll to see what's for the crew and then Jaren.
God, that was a terrible round of stealth checks, except for Ryoko and Scala.
Oh,
Yeah,
So-
the ninja does well, and yet the loud as fuck, colored bird.
Yeah.
And also Gray.
Ray's pretty good at it.
Oh yeah, what did Greg get? 17,
I-
okay.
Amon is not trained in stealth, but he has got a good dex.
He's also very small.
Yeah.
9
are-
feet long, 3 feet tall, and the ability to just be in my element.
okay.
I mean, you're
So-
a dinosaur in a tropical jungle.
True. This wouldn't be too different from some parts of Gardinia that you've been to. It's a very, very varied island that you come from, but there are dense jungle parts.
Yes.
So
Homie.
with Jaren guiding, he actually was, and actually, the crew and the captain were all rolling pretty well. Pretty
Good.
easily. So it's, of course, not as quiet as Jaren seems to be hoping, as there are a few times where, Ioane has to push past the branch and it just snaps, and he'll just kind of flinch and look back, or Rayan will go up to a leaf and pluck it, and it'll send a bird squawking into the air. Just. But for the most part, the crew is sticking in 2-person file. They're sticking close. They're following the captains, who's sticking pretty close to Jaren's, commands, because she's realized it's all right, well, this isn't my time to command. Better let the professional handle it, or the local handle it. But I need someone in the group to roll just a. Oh, what is where is it? All right, a d20. Just roll a d20. Someone, just a single person.
I don't know. Oh no!
Congratulations.
Natural one.
Don't
Well,
worry.
okay, it's
I got
it's
the
a,
best stealth
it was
out of
a
any of
random
us.
table. It was a random table, not a skill
Okay.
check, thankfully. But
Yeah, my
Okay.
stealth check kicked ass.
it did.
Yeah, all I can imagine now is the most stealthy person telling the least stealthy person, he's like, advice on how to sneak. Step number
Don't.
1, don't be as big as a house.
Step 2,
No,
don't do
step one.
anything you just did.
So going along, it's about 2 hours of travel. You have to take a break once, let people catch their breath or stop. And Jaren does pass around a canteen, but he goes, just, he warns, be careful, don't have much. This is all I have. Your whole group. But you're going along, and who's keeping a lookout as you're walking along?
I would say,
The assassin is going to try to keep a lookout.
yeah.
Okay.
QH just kind of does it, Oh, they don't do it like literally passively, but they just almost always on lookout.
Not. I'm munching leaves.
The assassin
There
has
are
also been
definitely
drinking and smoking ganja, so her lookout skills may not be the sharpest.
Would you like perception check or?
Yeah, perception check.
Oh wow,
Oh.
the dice say
Oh.
"fuck you." Apparently, what's happened is they caught a whiff of that pipe smoke and it's fucking them up a little bit.
And just for the heck of it, I want Joanna specifically to roll perception.
Oh no. Maybe he'll do good. Maybe he'll do good.
Duck.
I would say you probably get to be like here
Okay.
Just a moment.
after an hour, well, like 2 hours. You will find out quickly that I do not know distances on maps, so this will be interesting for all of us.
Yeah.
Advantage, right? Or no, not advantage.
No, just a regular
perception.
perception. Yep. Okay. You're too busy tromping around.
The dice do not like us.
He's very conscious about the noise he is making.
If it matters, my passive perception's 11.
Oh yeah, I should probably take note of people's passives.
Dude.
If you want to just post your passives in the chat,
Do you want
it's
the?
something I always mean to
All right.
pay more attention to.
Okay.
Fuck, 19.
They see a lot.
15, pretty
Awesome.
fucking good.
Also, have
17, 14.
Oh, those are good.
God damn. Yeah, that's fitting that Ryan's is so bad.
Damn.
Remember, passive doesn't necessarily beat something actively sneaking. Well,
No, I know.
Whatever.
It's like, dang, those are some good passives. I have to
Yeah.
remember that.
It's a
okay.
wisdom.
Yeah.
I boosted my perception a lot, which is contributing.
Let's see.
Sure, that'll make sense when you
Come on,
when your
hopefully
master
it's not
eventually
being
comes off.
laggy. Okay, so the group's traveling along, and you're kind of following. It's like a nature trail. Probably some, local animals have just worn through over the, for however long this island's been here. But, oh, jeez. Sorry, I got a little bit of a rush too. But going along, and I want folks to put themselves on this map real quick.
Where's about?
And the bottom?
Probably, yeah, near the bottom.
Okay.
Okay.
Because you're probably,
Wow.
let's see.
Whap.
Get in your circle or your square.
Radar. Oh, wait.
A very
Rain
pretty
was. Yeah, Rain was near Courage because Courage was leading her by hands.
Still holding hands.
Yes, one
Alright.
hand is yours. The wrapped up hand is on yours, while the crab one
Jaren
is
is kind of ahead.
munching leaves.
Captain's here. And I'm not going to bother putting the entire crew down because that is a lot
That's
of
fair.
tokens.
Completely.
Yeah,
She's
they're just off screen. It's
close.
fine.
Yeah. Also the gnome. He actually had to be picked up at a point by one of the crew members. And is now kind of like begrudgingly getting like a piggyback ride. He, like, you even hear him like during the first break. He's complaining. He's like, "I'm a scholar, I don't do this kind of stuff." As he's like complaining about like drying out his book. But they're going along, and oh wait, I forgot to roll Jaren's perception because he would be actively looking out. Not this time, apparently. He rolled a 10.
He's a little off his game, considering.
Yeah, he's suddenly got a big group to worry about when he's used to just getting like at most maybe 5 people at a time.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
But-
Sorry, Jerome. I think.
No one can roll a perception worth a damn.
Oh, remind me real quick. Did we get a? I think I know. I remember like those of us with heavy armor didn't get one, but did those without get a rest of any kind?
What do you mean?
When we were coming to shore, were we?
I think yeah.
trip?
Before, I'd probably say you had enough time for like a short rest once you landed ashore before Jaren showed up. Yeah, there'd be enough time for like a
Ooh.
short rest as everyone's just kind of like catching their breath and stuff.
That's all I need.
Do you mind if
So,
I
yeah,
take that short rest healing now real quick?
Yeah. I have something I forgot. So everyone, if you did need to use hit die for anything, go ahead and do that now.
Yeah, I got slapped. Good.
You did, yeah.
Yeah, there was
Okay, I feel
kind of
better
funny
now.
if fish people turn out to be my skeletons in this nautical campaign, where there are definitely going to be fish people.
Good
I mean, how
lord.
short rests work.
You roll hit die. Oh,
On your
sorry.
character sheet, you can just click it. Yeah. Oh, nice.
That'll
Damn.
Tactical.
yeah, you can
You
heal
can
a
roll
number of
as many as your level.
Oh shit!
So you could roll up to 6.
You gotta
Yeah.
hit die per.
I
level.
only need to
And
roll
then-
one. That's great.
And
And
you,
then-
if you have some of your abilities, will come back on a short rest, but you need to actually like read the ability and make sure.
Yeah,
I-
and also like it hasn't happened yet, but if you spend more than half of your, or it's like you can only regain half of your hit die back per long rest. So, like for level 6s, if you spent more than all of them, you would only get 3 back the
Oh,
next day.
interesting.
Because that's one thing I'm gonna do. I've seen other DMs do that to give a more semi-realistic of like can't just go day after day. You actually have to like find time to take rest.
I dig
completely
it.
Even
different
long
rate.
rest, you'll still like
Yeah.
wear down eventually,
Fatigue, yeah.
Can
even without hitting exhaustion, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
actually no, she's not gonna do this now.
So going along, and it is probably very shocking, Ryoko, that no one spotted this until it lifts its head up and emerges from an underhanging, as you see, very large, bigger than even the crew member Ioane lumbering out on 4 limbs, stark white fur, a thick collar around its neck, and you are flabbergasted to see a polar bear emerge
What?
from the foliage and stare at you and do the warning rumbling
Oh no,
growl
we're at
as it-
fucking lost.
We're in lost.
I'm so glad you rolled the 1 on the encounter table.
Fucking lost.
Does Ryan see the bear?
Once it starts doing this like deep bassy rumbling growl as it starts like looking at you at the group, yeah, you see this massive thing. You've never seen one of these before, probably.
Have I?
Yes,
I
you
need
have.
to. I
This
need to
is
make a
big.
choice. Hold on.
That's
Like-
Oh no. Ryan's hand slips out of Courageous.
this is
And she starts.
this normal around here?
Jaren saying it just phrases like, "Oh God, I thought it was still on the other side of the island."
Ryan starts
he
walking towards it.
Garano
he-
fucking
oh.
grabs you as you start moving past
Yeah.
her.
He starts to he will dart for you too. He's just like, no.
Not
This
friendly.
thing's head is about as big as your torso, if not bigger.
Just squints at
I,
this and
I
goes,
rolled a save to see if she'd be afraid of it or not.
Yeah, Jared's gonna try to stop you because
Okay. She's not gonna fight. Actually, she might actually fight back for someone just suddenly grabbing her.
and he'll like put his arm or like his hand on your arm and just be like, wait, just hush, just being like, I don't know if Freya would be able to pick up on this since she's just gotten to the surface in human interaction, but anyone else could tell this guy is terrified out of his mind.
Let's see. Oh no!
See, Rayon doesn't have the cultural context of yes, it looks fluffy.
Yeah,
Do not approach it.
It looks fluffy. She sees softness, and she got to experience softness on the ship. So,
If it's bad, then why so friend-shaped?
yes. She's
So-
gonna try and shake her arm loose.
Oh God.
Not gonna be any good at it, but
He's gonna, say you try to pull away, he's gonna try to grab you.
okay.
Roll.
Oh my god!
Wow.
Oh, good.
Yeah, he's not rolling well, but that's good enough to stop you. He rolled a 10.
Yeah.
balance for those double nat 20s.
Wow! Holy shit!
What is
No!
real 20 tonight?
She's
And
like
you
weakly
shout.
pulling. She's weakly pulling against his grip, but like made absolutely no progress. No.
The bears, hearing that someone start shouting, just growls and like spreads its like front paws as it's like doing like a posturing thing as it takes a few steps forward.
Should we engage the deformed wolf?
It's a bear.
It's a bear.
No, you don't engage a bear.
There's a bear.
Especially not one of those.
What is a bear?
It's going to fuck us up if I explain.
It's like a
Stand
big
around
fucked up
explaining
wolf. They
So
It's a wolf that wrestles, is from what I have heard.
Sure, it's a big fucked up wolf. Let's, not engage.
What? Is there something I could do to pull? I'm gonna grapple Ray.
That's
Yeah,
not
go
gonna be
ahead.
hard.
So yeah, contested.
Oh my
you can
god!
do- Now you roll.
Seriously?
What the fuck?
Happening!
Jesus.
Fine, Rayan. You're gonna die. You're gonna get mauled.
Our common challenge friend comes from the sea, right? Am I going
Yes.
British?
I don't know.
All right. That's weird. It's not character voice at all, but I can't do character voice for Ryoko today because of laryngitis.
That's fair.
Yeah.
It's like a shark, but with hair.
And the captain who's standing not far from you, Ryoko, she's just like, I mean, you're not wrong.
Sharks are friendly.
Damn it.
Not to steal!
Kurano's arm kind of like puts in front of you, like she's not touching you, Rayon, and she's looking at you like from the side like a bird does, and she goes, "That is not friendly. It will hurt you and us."
Leaking.
Leaking, yes. Very much leaking.
Don't think I haven't noticed the initiative counter.
Yeah. When you explain,
I was actually going to say...
Like a
her
shark
eye
fin
goes-
rising out of the water. I see that bitch.
her eye goes wide and she shrinks back.
I was just going to say, if anyone's, like, staring at this thing, you can make a perception check.
I will
Can I
make a
insight
perception.
the bear? Because I'm so enamored. Well, I was enamored with it.
I
May I insight the bear?
I'll make
Sure.
Okay.
God, so many nat ones
Wow.
tonight.
Roll 20s.
Man,
I do not have clear
Are
line
you
of sight with the
serious?
bear.
God!
Thank you,
Yeah,
Quiet
Are
Heart.
you serious?
You're focused on trying to wrangle Rayan, who's just become as slippery as an eel. Ha.
Yeah, what happened is like you grabbed her arm that's like all bandages, but then like it moved like there's no bone underneath and just slid out of your grip.
The worst thing would be if she like had like hagfish slime.
Ugh.
Thank you, Quiet Hearts, for being clutch with the perception check.
Yeah.
They have
But
good
actually, you would
perception
see
when
it,
it
Corona,
rolls.
because it wasn't a tough one. But this bear, like you see it, it's big and it's. I think Yuana would probably be one of the only ones to realize that normally polar bears don't get this big because he's the only one who's actually seen them in person.
Yeah.
But this one around its neck, it has this thick leather collar that it looks like it's tight, almost digging into the fur and the neck. And it's like it looks old. Like Quiet Hearts, you'd be the one to notice the most that this collar looks old. Like it's cracked, it's stretched. It looks like the bear possibly grew bigger after it had been given it, but not too much that it's strangling it. It just probably doesn't look too comfortable, but the bear, doesn't look like it's unable to hunt because it is not emaciated or anything.
No, chonk. Yeah, they yeah. Why can I think word? Whatever. They're gonna tell the group because it seems to be wearing a collar. It is old, stretched.
Does
Yeah,
my
Jeremy.
10 insight get me anything
So the
on
bear's
bear?
into bondage. That's good.
Oh God.
What's bondage?
Bondage?
Oh, I'll tell.
I don't know.
I'm not here to do with the birds and the bees, sweetie.
More like the bears and the bees.
I mean, there's a
Okay.
bird right there.
I'm not
A
giving
really
that
good
speech
joke.
either.
It's a shame that
Wait, there's two birds.
shame that we're going to die.
There's Korono and Amon.
Just quietly, like.
Rayan,
but anyways.
after Corona explained leaking hurt bad, does like visibly shrink in on herself back and on her again and step back.
Let's see. I just need a
Roll deception for bear.
the bear is standing, it's still like doing the blustering bellow at the group, and it does take another step forward.
Oh.
But
This is stupid, but this is actually a plant here, right?
yes.
I'm going to cast Mage Hand. Right here, and just rip off one of the leaves and like poke at the bear.
Don't
Okay.
poke the bear!
You poke the bear.
It is all the way over here.
You poke the bear with the palm frond.
Yes.
The leaf frond, and
The floating one that is
whips
not attached
around,
to any of
and
us.
this giant paw just wham, just slams into this floating leaf, just slamming it down, and it like it kind of did that thing where, like, if you've seen the videos of bears who get spooked, they kind of do that like little sideways jump. It did that as it swiped, and it just kind of looks down, almost confused as there's just really nothing.
Come on. Gonna pull Rayan away.
Yeah, no, she's going now. She's going now.
And I'm not decided I'm pulling you by the fucking collar.
Yeah, we're all just kind of skirting around the bear without taking our eyes off of it.
So then I want a.
No.
I could be mean and say a group animal handling check.
Oh God.
Sure.
But
It's better than the solo one.
Do not make me make
If,
an animal.
if it would
Not
help,
necessarily.
if it would help,
If-
Amon can do an animal handling check. I'm trained in it.
yeah, if anyone has an animal handling, if you want to describe how you might handle this animal, feel free. Oh, also, I should do this.
Okay.
Why can't I change your size? There.
You made me smaller.
Oh God, you're so tiny. Where did you go?
Gonna lose
Sorry.
all the leaves.
Here we are.
Well,
I'm sorry. It's just like I was about to move my icon and then it shrank, and I'm like, what did I do?
Oh wait, this might be the perfect time for this. Actually,
Uh-oh.
But Amon is going to approach the bear, not too closely.
Uh-huh.
And then I don't remember. Grayson is having issues remembering how one approaches a bear without making it too much more mad.
you don't.
You don't. That's the answer. You back off.
Especially polar bears.
Oh, especially polar bears. But this is a polar bear in a jungle, so it's not like it's following normal polar bear rules. So Amon's just going to kind of like put himself in between the rest of the crew and the bear and be like, hey, it's okay, buddy. It's fine. Didn't know you were here. We're just going to give you your space, okay? And then I'm going to roll the animal handling.
Go ahead. And unfortunately, because this is not a dinosaur or dinosaur adjacent beast, you do not get advantage, but you are trained in animal handling, though, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe I clicked on it.
Come on, man.
There.
What is with all the ones tonight?
Yeah, Christ.
Let's see. I'll use the 13 since that's the one that popped up first.
Yeah, I was just
Oh,
like,
yeah,
it
that's
got
better.
stuck loading, I think, so I pressed it again, and then
Oh God. Oh God.
Oh, did I not?
Is that good or bad?
I meant to
That
do
was-
that to GM, but I mistoggled.
that's fine. That's a nat 21 wisdom saving throw.
Yeah. I think I'm
Nat
on.
20.
Well, here's the thing. It like whips its head around to you where it was just like looking around for something that had poked it, something tiny. Where it's like you can almost see the gears turning in this thing's giant head, just going like, "It was you," as it just kind of. But again, there's this moment of just weird, almost intelligence in its face as it just kind of looks at you, and it seems confused because it probably hasn't seen an armored Trudon as far
Yeah.
as you can expect.
Yes,
And it just kind
absolutely.
of.
That's fine.
Why
This,
is that bird in people clothes?
Oh, that's...
And
Oh God.
it just kind of lumbers over and it's living over you, and it just leans in with its snout and like right in front of you and just. That
takes
Its head
That-
is probably
its
as
breath.
big as you are.
bigger, probably. This
By a
is
lot.
a huge polar bear.
This is fair. Hey guys, this would be your signal to go. What are you waiting for?
Sasuke's already gone.
Yeah.
I
The captain has been guiding her crew on a long, circuitous way around this.
Okay, what do I need to cast this? Well, I don't think I need anything actually. No, I don't.
So
Um,
Amon is going to have a bit of a lower, like kind of almost like a bowed position, hands open wide, his mouth is closed, showing that he is in fact not a threat. He's just a weird bird with some weird stuff on him.
However, that does make him a snack.
You have to catch the
Yeah.
snack.
So the group is backing up. Jared's trying to urge everyone to be like, okay, back up while it's distracted.
I will say that as they're getting pulled back, Rayan opens her book and rips out a sheet of paper and like very quickly tears it into how many pieces is this? 4 pieces. As she's getting drug away, and she throws them into the air, she casts Flock of Familiars.
Oh God.
4 the owls, or a weird equivalent.
Seagulls.
Yeah, 4 seagulls appear. The paper like origamis itself into the shape of a seagull, but then like actually turn into seagulls. But they're like they're weird.
This is not.
They're like
This is only going to piss it
bioluminescent.
off.
They're bioluminescent.
You're throwing sea devils at it.
And she's gonna like speak to them frantically.
What do you do with
She's
her new flock?
She's commanding them to distract the bear.
Oh no.
As the seagulls come squawking in around it, the bear lifts up its head almost quizzically as these things start fluttering around its head, almost like flies in comparison. And it's just kind of like watching them. Roll a deception check.
Okay.
Or a
I'm
performance, I guess.
I'm good at deception. Oh my god!
Yeah, so these
What
birds,
the fuck?
with their weird colorations and obnoxious squawking, seem to draw the attention of the bear as it lifts its head up and just seems to be like, again, just confused. And Amon, as it lifts its head up, you actually get a good look at this collar, and faded from age and tarnished. There's a metal like tag stamped into it, and if you want, roll a history check.
I am not good at that, so we will see. I don't know what the name means.
Okay,
One of my familiars help, but I don't think that matters.
Yeah, that want to be able to help in this moment, but it's a symbol that it seems familiar, but you don't recall where you've seen it. It's an old symbol, and you're just not sure where you've seen this. But if you want, this bear seems thoroughly distracted by these birds. You know what, let me just roll to see what it. Yeah,
They're
it
not,
just
like-
kind of.
They're not like egging it on. They're just like trying to hold his attention.
Yeah, it's like they're flying around it, and it starts like turning around in place, trying to follow these things as it's just. Have you seen those videos of the bears who just get fascinated with a butterfly that go into their enclosure? It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
So here comes the new problem. This is a bear with a collar on it and is fascinated by pretty little things. While it may be 3 or 4 times the size, this is not unusual for where I'm from.
Or like 12
So
times
he's like,
size.
yeah, it's like this is a friend. I'll let you enjoy your beauty, friend. You have a good day. And he's going to calmly like pull his hands to him, and he's just gonna like casually walk, let him enjoy the butterflies, birds.
Yeah.
Armand doesn't know what these are. They're weird glowing birds.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I'll
they're weird
say with that
bioluminescent
natural
seagulls.
deception with the seagulls. It is thoroughly distracted, allowing you to step back, and after a bit, it seems to almost remember the group is here, but by that time, the group is already a good distance away, and it snorts and just kind of like stares at the birds again before shuffling back into its little den area, which you realize was like just like a cave that it looks like it barely fits into.
As we
Oh my
as we
God.
when we get a safe distance away from the bear in its barely fittable cave, I say, now I don't know a lot about bears, but I feel like that one was way bigger than they normally get.
Bigger?
I've seen polar bears. They don't get that big.
It was wearing a collar with a symbol on it. And if I can, I will quickly do a sketch in my sketchbook to show the symbol.
I would say that people do a history check, but I will give this one because it is a fairly well-known symbol for some of you. Yeah, you don't recognize it.
My
Jaren recognizes it.
Give me a second.
Kurono, I'd say Kurono and Ryoko. Oh yeah, you would definitely know what this is.
Hey, Nat 20.
It
God,
is
what is the rolls tonight?
right? It is the seal of the Ruby Empire, specifically the Ruby Empress, the last reigning empress of the empire before it collapsed. It's was a tag that you would know was used to mark property, whether it be physical or living.
Oh.
It was a symbol. It was basically like a slave brand. And it's kind of gotten this like reputation in the centuries since the fall of the empire of being very not like, I'm not gonna say it's like swastika levels of like distaste, but it's like a symbol that a lot of people really find not offensive,
Tasteful?
but it's just distasteful. Yes. So, yeah.
And that's on this collar of this bear?
Yep. I got a really good look at it. I feel like I should be more concerned, but like that's kind of like points to the bear barely fitting in his cave. That's about my usual scale when it comes to things like this.
At this point, the four seagulls fly back and just each land on a different part of Rayan.
As they fly back, you look back as the bear is just kind of standing up on two legs, towering, and just staring at the group because it had followed the birds. But then it just goes back to all fours and then just kind of sits down, but not following, but still just like watching the group as Jared and the captain are like, okay, we need to start walking again.
So they're just kind of imagining we're behind this big, column, moving away from it, and just as we're moving away, we just see this bear slowly rise above the foliage and shit.
The more you make me think about this bear, the more I have to remember the facts I know about polar bears, like how they'll track people for days and wait outside their houses to eat them.
Yep.
Ryan looks between the bear and Ione. It's like, bear?
In some communities, yes.
Yes.
God damn it.
I was just going to say Amon waves at the bear when it looks at him. He's a pretty cool one, admittedly. Like, didn't even try to eat me or nothing.
I'll say, y'all came close. If it wasn't for that natural 20
in that case,
deception,
the point,
he
is looking down at Ryan and is like, you're very lucky. Polar bears aren't usually that nice.
Bear.
Also, Ioane, you probably, I'll just give this to you. That polar bears are rather intelligent from what you remember growing up down south. But this one was oddly intelligent with how it seemed to like regard the group, and it
it didn't immediately maul us for one.
Yeah, and you're not sure if it's because you were such a big group and it just didn't want to bother with that, or maybe it's not hungry, but it something's off about that bear besides its just size.
Yeah. Fortunately, I suppose it would have a lot to eat here. Usually polar bears are pretty voracious. They don't have
polar
much
bear.
pickings down in the poles.
There's a possibility that thing is someone's pet. It has a collar.
It's
I don't doubt
old,
it.
so I would vote more like Lost Experiment.
It's
It's
very
big.
old.
And Jaren goes, that would make a lot of sense. I never got close enough to look at the collar, just enough, enough distance to see that it had a collar. But it being an Empire remnant, that makes a lot of sense considering this island used to have some of their outposts.
Excuse me, did you say it was very old?
Yeah, it's very old.
Very old?
And Jaren groans at that.
Very old?
Very old.
Very old?
Very slowly looks at you like, are you fucking
And-
Ryan's face lights up. Very old bear.
And Jaren, he sighs and he goes, but that does remind me. And as he looks to everyone on the surviving crew members, he's like, you see berries? Don't eat them.
Oh.
That would be very bad.
Is reaching towards a bear.
You're funny.
How's that, Ryoko?
That would be very bad.
God damn it.
Yes.
Unlike everyone else, Yana is actually chuckling.
Ryan just looks
So-
like, oh, cool. Words.
Ryoko has seen that our new to speaking common friend is enjoying puns
Yep.
and senses the mind to corrupt.
No.
Uh-oh. So I'm just going to.
Whoa.
Sorry, he's not
Oh,
that big.
Oh.
I'm just
Bear comes out of the woods and eats us
Shrinking.
all.
it's the
breaking
kaiju
him
bear.
down as a landmark.
Cool.
Isn't
So Sarah.
Kaiju bear just shows up. Yes. Right, the familiar-
That's VV's character.
As they go, the familiar chirp to Rayan, and then they all fly off. And as we're walking, Rayan's eye gets like milky, and she's going to just have her familiars fly around within a mile of us, and just send their auditory and visual senses to her.
Okay.
They can telepathically communicate with you and share their visual or auditory senses while they're within 1 mile of you.
So, like I said, I don't know how big this island is. It's a fairly big island.
A perimeter, essentially. They're just keeping an eye out around us.
Yeah. So I'll say that for the next flag of this, that will give you specifically advantage on perception checks.
Oh God, I'm gonna
the
look
gaze
up
ahead.
an owl's. I'm gonna look up an owl's stats because these are statistically.
Owls have
Oh,
advantage on perception. They're crazy.
But I get to roll it 4 times.
Trying to see if I have. I was trying to see if I had owl stat block.
Their perception is a +3, but I get that with advantage 4 times because I have 4.
Well, I'm just saying, instead of rolling all that, I'm just saying it'll give you general advantage for
Okay.
going ahead.
They have better
Um,
They have better perception than I do.
Okay, I will say then that just gazing around, you actually get a better view of the island, and you could probably show the party eventually. But I'll just do this.
Hey, yeah. Her hand is gripped to whoever's closest.
So
She's
uh,
stumbling, but
okay, I will say just do a general perception check, with advantage, just
okay.
to see if you see anything interesting.
Can I use the bird's perception? Because it is better.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
Alright.
they'd be looking and then pointing
18.
something out.
21.
Okay, so they're flying around, and you do see a few landmarks that are fairly noticeable. Actually, just really 2 of them. Well, further ahead, you do see, like this way where I'm pinging, that's where the big mountain peak is, and where Jaren said the Anzu nested.
Okay.
But here you see towering out of the canopy a weird, looks like a karst almost, oh, which is like a spire of rock that just seems to jut up strangely out of the canopy. And then to the south, you see what looks to be a tall building, uh,
Ooh.
partially broken. You think just from the distance, but uh, it possibly might be the remains of a lighthouse.
Ooh.
Those are really the, and then they do see like off in the distance glimpses of a river,
Okay.
but that's like off in the distance still.
Like her face is just going through these various expressions of wonder, and all her visible eyes milky white because she sees what they're seeing, not what she's seeing right now. So she's like reacting to what the birds see, while whoever she's holding on to is she's like tripping over everything.
After she trips for like the third time, Ioanni's just gonna fucking pick her up.
She blinks and her eye turns back to normal, and she's like, "Oh, ground."
Ryoko turns to Kurano and says, "Psst, what's the fish kid's name?"
I believe it's Rayon.
Rayon. Rayon, what do your fish eyes see?
Fish eyes.
There's a
Fish
deep,
eyes.
there's a deep bird sigh from beside you.
She points, in the direction of the two things she's seen, and she's like, "Rocks," and the other way, "Rocks."
Plus side we're set for rocks.
She uses minor illusion to create little visual references of what she sees.
And
She's like,
when
rocks, and makes one appear, then rocks and makes the other appear.
When Jaren sees these, he goes, "Oh, that's nifty." He goes, "Okay, yeah, the one on the coast is, as you show it, because that was the old Ruby Empire, one of their lighthouses. There's like two of them, one on each north and south.
Lighthouse.
And when you show the other one, he goes, "Yeah, stay far away from that."
She
That's a
tilts her
nest.
head.
Or, well, nest, hive. I was told a hive is a better word. Stay away.
Hi.
Hive of what?
One of the birds, unbeknownst to everybody, one of the birds flies towards the hive.
A hive of what?
And he goes, "Oh, I think they're called Ankeg."
Oh God.
Yeah, if you see like mounds of dirt or just like piles of dirt around, give those a clear, avoid those. They like to burrow.
What
Yeah,
about the
these
lighthouse? Is that a place to be avoided?
I mean, I haven't been there in a while. I normally don't go that far when checking after the storms. I just normally stick to the southeast of the island here. But, I mean, something might have moved in since the last time I checked it out, or one of our people checked it out. Kind of shrugs. I haven't been there, since the first year I crashed here.
You, name Jerem?
Jaren, yes.
Jaren. How long? Island.
And he kind of stops and goes, "Well, island, I don't know how long it's been here. I guess since the flood. But
No.
me,
You.
he kind of thinks about it, and then his frown deepens, and he goes, "I think I'm getting close to 5 years here."
Oof.
Some of the others, as far as I know, the village we're going to has been here since the Empire left. But
That bodes horribly for our chances of rescue, doesn't it?
And he just kind of gives like a sympathetic look, and he goes, "Yeah, I was gonna let what's her name? Hold on. He goes, I was gonna let Matilda, break the news to you.
Matilda?
Yeah, she's kind of the official, unofficial leader of the village. Someone
All
has
right.
to keep
There is
keep
something
everyone
very important I need to ask you. Does
Yeah.
this village have alcohol?
in. He laughs and he goes, "Oh, don't worry. We 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 have a fairly passable jungle wine, and
Okay, that's all I need to know. We're good.
yeah. And he laughs. And he goes, I mean, honestly, without that, a lot of the people here probably wouldn't be able to, handle not being able to go back home. And
Home?
he just, and
That
he
certainly
goes,
bodes well.
yeah, it's kind of his mood kind of falls. For the most part, he's trying to be chipper and like be supportive because he knows this is kind of a traumatic thing that people are getting them that have found themselves in, and he's just like,
Yeah.
he goes, people try to escape, and as far as we can tell, no one's come back to rescue us, and sometimes we see what happens to them.
Hmm.
Well, on the plus side, I went on this whole trip just trying to get as far away from home as possible. So this works out really well for me, honestly, as long as
And
there's booze.
he kind of chuckles and he goes, there are actually a few in the village who actually have very similar. They're running from something, and this seems to be a great place to hide. Just most of the people who live here, good people. Don't really care about what everyone's past. You'll learn that people don't really care what people's pasts were because we're stuck here together now. So there may be some rough people who have had rough pasts. Just try to keep that in mind.
Oh, I
And
don't
he
judge.
goes, we may have some people from, what did I name the pirates?
I was supposed to say Ray is like absorbing every single word she hears. Like she has like
Oh,
rapt
yeah.
attention on this guy.
He goes, yeah, I mean, he goes, we've got some Maricians, we've got people from the Dominion, which people would know the Dominion is the Elvish dominated faction. And he goes, there's some Goblinoids from the Republic. Ioana, you're very familiar with that. She goes, even got some folks from the Federation, the pirates.
I like that
Yes.
two of them are Star Trek names.
Yeah. Tideborn?
Oh yeah, we got a few more Tideborn, yeah. And he goes, there's like only a few. He goes, there's only a few dozen of us, but it seems like people from all over. And he goes, oh, there is. I should warn you, or if you're ever out in the woods, if you end up taking gathering jobs or whatever, you run into lizard folk. Try to be diplomatic with them. The Moonscale tribe. They live on the other side of the island. We sometimes trade with them. They're kind of in the same boat we are, where they can't get off the island. But from what we can tell, they were here on the island before the Empire, so they're content to stay.
Home?
Yes, their home was here. Oh. And he kind of looks through the group and he goes, kind of lowers his voice. He's like, does she not know what? Is she
She's,
like learning common for the first time?
We fished her
Either
out of the water.
either that or she's playing a very elaborate prank.
And he says something and he goes, do you understand this as Ryoko, you'd understand. He's speaking in Infernal.
I pretend I don't.
Well, he was asking Rayan.
What's
He's
he
not
saying, Infernal?
He goes, "Do you understand me?" In just Infernal. He's just like saying if she knows any other languages.
she, like narrows her eye at the word and like spouts back in Aquan, like what? and then in deep speech, what?
And he doesn't know either of those. He goes, well, I mean the first one I kind of recognized. Might be someone in the village who understands that, but well, and he kind of like looks up to see like time of day, and he goes, well, we want to get there before nightfall. We do not want to be out here after dark, but we should probably pick up the pace.
Her like she looks back up to like into the air. How long have we been walking at this point?
Probably been an hour since the bear.
Okay, then the familiars will at that point then disappear.
Yeah.
She
I would say
looks
that
up and like
you did see they got closer to the the hive,
yeah.
but it wasn't able to get really close enough to be detailed. But as like seeing through it, it's very clearly not natural stone. It's almost from a distance. It looks like striated, almost. You wouldn't know what it is like in game, but it almost has like a texture like sandstone, where it's like layers of different colored material, just kind of blended together in an organic way.
Oh.
But yeah, that's about the last thing you see. You don't really see anything crawling on the outside of it.
Okay.
You didn't get close enough for the vision to, to see it. But
she blinks and like, hey.
So I will ask for. Let's do a survival check this time.
I actually, I'm not good at it, but I have proficiency. 12.
I'm not good at it, but there it is.
Let's see.
Why not? Throw a survival.
Okay.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, I'm not great at that. Me
I was-
and the mom get the highest.
Yeah.
Hey, I was hey.
Okay.
To be
Oh.
fair, I rolled like really low on that.
No one rolled well.
We got
So-
four.
I rolled well. I only have a +1 to that.
I have a
There.
+4.
It is kind of a slog as you're going. Some of you may have to join Jaren, as he's using his machete to clear a path. It gets really dense in some parts as he's like saying, like leading you. It's kind of uphill too. You're kind of going at an uphill, but it's not too strenuous. But after a while, like traveling through dense jungle, it is very, very wearing on just normal people. But the sky starts to turn from blue to a darker color. But just one more time, someone roll a d20.
Sure.
Do it. Oh, he'll do it.
I'm on.
Okay. And okay. You actually so going along. That is your path is unblocked.
Hey.
As you actually get closer, you break through this dense thicket area, and not Amon. Sorry, I keep jumping between names. Jaren Eventually, he finds a path. This one, you see footprints, and it seems to be closer. And he goes, "Okay, we're in the home stretch now." And as you approaching, he says, "It's like, yeah, a lot of our people go out during the day into the jungle to harvest what we can from it before coming back for the night. See what they can hunt or gather."
Hmm.
And as he's explaining that, you actually hear a voice call out, kind of hidden, but stepping out from behind stepping out from behind some ferns. Oh, jeez, sorry. Is a half-elven woman, dressed in hide armor, looks like probably made here on the island. And she's got what looks to be like a decent bow, but like looks like homemade arrows with stone arrow tips. And she just kind of steps and she goes, "Oh, Jaren, whoa, you've got the you've got the big haul this time." And she just kind of laughs at seeing this
Gaggle of
group he's
weirdos.
playing tour guide to. Yeah, a bunch of very miserable looking crew, like sailors, and then your group. There's the sailors and then the passengers.
um.
And he kind of laughs and goes, "Yeah, found him on the beach. You'll never guess who we ran into." As he just kind of gets this like momentary 1,000-yard stare as he laughs as they start talking. And when he mentions the polar bear, she just lets out this little whistle. He's like, "Oh, and you all made it out okay? How many of your group were you there when you first ran into him?" And she's like, and she like looks over and birds. And he goes, "Yeah, she used birds to distract it. Actually got us all away." And oh well, now we know he's back on this side of the island. She's like, "Noted. We'll let the other hunters know." And he goes, "Oh, sorry, let me introduce." And he goes, "This is Susanna. She's kind of our head trapper and hunter." And she just kind of gives a nod. And she's a half elven, but she looks like she maybe has some wood elf in her just from. I'm not gonna say like phrenology, but she looks like she has some wood elf in her. But she goes, like over her shoulder, she's got like a sling of like some larger birds, or like some birds and like a few island rabbits over her shoulder, like a string. And she's just like, "Oh, it's almost sunset. We should get back to the village. Tilda's gonna lose her mind seeing we got so many people." And Darren and Susanna like start leading the group as like the whole time the captain has been very silent during the trip, as she's just seems to be slowly sinking in that her life as a sailing captain might be over.
Ione, you hear like a little gasp from Rayan as like her hand is to her mouth and she's looking at the dead birds and rabbits.
Yeah, it's like jungle pheasants and stuff.
Yeah. She doesn't say anything, but she's like clearly looking at them.
He's going to set you down.
Oh.
Don't run off.
He shrinks a little bit.
Yeah, and he's gonna try to approach the captain. Sorry about the ship, Mom. Never easy losing.
And she just kind of sighs and looks up at you guys. "Thanks, big man. I mean, it's not the first time I've lost a ship, but it's the first time I've lost it while I was captain." Yeah, TT, you did good on Ryoko there. Sorry,
Yeah,
DT.
very nice.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there, DZ.
That's about all I had to say.
Okay. And yeah, like Rolf was walking with her, and he also like gives her a sympathetic pat on the shoulder, but he goes, "Well, if we get off this island, who knows? I'd still be willing to work with you, Ken." And she just kind of gives him this like thankful smile, but doesn't really say much as they follow the two locals further down the path. And it's not full sense by the time that they go, "Oh, well, we're here," as stepping out from the tree line. Um, as you got closer, you ran into a few other people like dressed in what looks to be either clothing they either had when they washed up that has been seen, been through years of use or however long they've been, and other people are dressed in leathers and stuff. It looks like that was made here. But as you approach, you see the trees thin out, and the trees have been cleared out for a bit. You see, but up ahead, you see a. Oh, hold on. You actually see a wall, almost like a palisade of dense branches and sharpened stakes just driven into the ground, kind of forming a wall around what looks to be a village. There are huts scattered around the ground, but there are several large trees that among the branches, almost all of them seemingly grown from the tree themselves or tree houses built in the boughs, you see several large buildings, tree houses, suspended. And as Jaren and Susanna start leading the group in, they, Susanna, like, splits off. She goes, I'll let you introduce them to Matilda and the rest. I gotta go get these over to the kitchen." And Jaren goes, "All right, just let's go over here." And he takes you all over to what looks to be like a central meeting area. There's a large fire pit where there is like a fire being built for the night, and people are gathering around it. This seems to be the main cooking fire. There's like several cauldrons that maybe got washed up ashore, and there's as you go into this village, people start popping out. People are just like, "Oh, new people," and they start emerging, and soon your group has like a crowd of people just kind of watching you as Jaren goes, "All right, wait here. I'm going to go get Matilda."
As all the
And
people start coming out and crowding around, like, then decides she does not like this much attention on herself.
and before Jaren returns, there's like two people that walk up. One is a brine dwarf man, and then another one is a very large woman. Don't know how many people I've actually encountered one, but she is a furbolg, very tall. Seems to have like very thick mane of darkish, almost purple. It's like black, but almost purplish hair that has like some kelp woven into it. Um, this dwarf, he walks up and he's just smiling as they start, like, other villagers start approaching and like start handing out canteen or like water skins and start handing out food. And this big furbolg woman, she goes, "Well, welcome. Here, everyone have some." And she, like, her and this dwarf start passing out food, like a basket of fruit and stuff, or like dried fish and like certain food, food that was already prepared or doesn't need to be prepared. And the crew, like, very thankfully starts eating it, and Verdar's happy, to take a lot, fresh water. And Yeah. After the furball woman, she goes, my name's Marlene. This is my friend Arid. And she gestures to the Brine dwarf who nods and he goes, welcome to Rondo. I guess this is Rondo Village? We never really gave it a name. She just kind of like half-lidded and she kind of looks like she maybe partook of something. Her eyes are a little hazy.
She's high.
But
Rayan is, still shrinking of herself, but for the first time, as people have noticed, she's a different color. She is pinkish. Like an internal glow is like changed to be like pink. Most notable in like her hair, tentacle hair, her hair.
yeah.
Home.
And
No, Shady.
excuse me. So she goes, oh God. I mean, Matidler is the name is just saying it out loud. That's just bad.
That's bad, yeah.
Sorry, that derailed me hard.
Sounds like the female equivalent of like the Tumblr version of the Onceler.
Oh no!
God damn it!
I am a pure
Keeping
soul.
the Matidlers with each
character.
other.
Matidler on the roof.
Matidler
God.
versus Monster.
Matitties.
Oh, God.
Okay, I might have to change her name.
No, it's fine.
No, keep
Fine.
Matilda, because outside of Shady being a pervert, Matilda makes me think of Matilda and No Sympathies, who's also a demon.
Oh, Matilda.
Hey,
Matilda's
I'm not the
Good
one
name.
Hey,
Even
I'm
if
not the
someone's
one
a
who
pervert,
immediately went
saying
to.
Matitties in chat, Shady.
Hey, you're the one trying to project on me, good
You're
sir.
the one who wrote it. You wrote Matidlies.
Yeah, like Fiddler on the Roof.
You wrote
you
Matitties. You wrote it.
Oh my God.
Oh fuck! I can't shout. I can't shout. My throat hurts.
Oh shit.
Sorry, TT.
Okay.
Take it easy.
Anyway.
Home?
So you're now pink.
Yeah. She's nervous.
And
Home?
and Aaron goes, I mean, it's not where most of us started, but yes, this is now home for us. Goes, sorry. Then he goes, yeah, this is home for most of us. It is now.
How? What
Wait, was that-
what happened?
And they both kind of just do that, and they kind of look at each other. And he goes, "Well, it's kind of the same story for everyone here. I mean, probably happened to you too." And he's cut off as Jaren returns, and the woman who cuts him off. He goes, "Yes, I'd actually like to hear how you all washed up on our little island here first, though." As a woman, dark tan skin, her head shaved, surprisingly bright blue eyes, fairly average height. She seems like she'd just be like a regular person, but she walks up and everyone seems to view her with like, not like fear, but like a respect. Like that she's very clearly the leader of this little village as she walks up and people make way for her, followed by Jaren.
So respect and slightly intimidated.
Not really intimidation. It's like I guess you could do an insight.
Sure. I have no points on that.
Yeah, deference
not-
would be very good.
Let's see me get bad again. Hey, 16.
Oh, should actually have good insight. Now with that roll, I don't.
Yeah, people aren't afraid of her. There is a lot of respect for this woman.
Alright.
And people seem to listen when she starts speaking. And she
It
asks,
is authority.
yeah, she's clearly the authority here, and she was asking, she'd like to hear how you all showed up, or what brought you to this island.
Oh,
Shipwreck.
There was a storm with undead and things that were not undead.
They kind of, you hear like a few murmurs, and it's like, undead? And she goes, don't know about the undead, but tell me about the things that weren't.
Oh, fuck, what were they called? I'm having a mind blank.
It was Sahagin and Marrow.
Sahagin, thank you.
Fuck, my microphone was muted.
They were fish
Yeah.
people, but like mean fish people.
They were the Sahagin and the Marrow.
What were you saying, Gray?
Same thing everyone else did. You're good.
Okay. And they're like, she kind of scoffs in the group. Like, the villagers just kind of nod knowingly. And she goes, all right, so they're still at it. And
Storm was not
That's-
natural.
that's what we guessed. It seems to show up, without even crawling over the horizon. It just hits people and they wind up here or down there. She kind of gestures off to the ocean in the distance, because the village is like not far from. You can sort of see it when you walked in. It's a little hard to see it from inside the village, but there is like a cliff further out, and you do see like some buildings that are like built at the cliff edge. But she goes, as far as we can tell, most of us, we were all sailors or people just passing by and taking the less traveled route, and we can see why now. And there's like a chuckle among the group, the villagers, because it's just like, yeah, we fucked up going the long way. But she goes, and yeah, we just all seem to be the flotsam that washed the shore, and we've gathered together here to survive.
you ran into bad water.
And she chuckles at that. She goes, yeah, you could say that.
She makes like a very concentrated face.
And the Matilda, this leader, she looks around and she goes, so is any of you the captain or the command of the crew?
I am.
And the captain steps forward. She goes, it was my ship. And Matilda kind of like looks her over and she goes, forgive my bluntness, but what were you carrying that caused them to attack your ship? And people can roll an insight check for that.
Yep, gonna do that. 15.
Fuck me, apparently.
21.
I'm actually pretty good at insight. It's my only character I've ever made that's good at insight.
I'm not, but I've rolled pretty well with it.
I have
19.
+6, but not with those rolls, I don't.
So,
I have a +1.
Quiet Heart,
22.
Quiet Hearts, you don't really notice it. I guess you're just not really that familiar with a lot of people yet, but you do see the captain react that and the rest of you kind of get the feeling is like she seems like offended and then defensive, and she goes, "What do you mean?" And then like it's very clearly it clicks for a lot of you. It's like, "Oh, she was smuggling."
Do I pick up
And
anything
Matilda
different?
goes,
Because I don't know what smuggling is.
You got the vibe that the captain got defensive at that question. Like she doesn't want to answer.
Okay.
And the captain, or not the captain, but Matilda, she goes, "I don't care what you're carrying, as it wasn't slaves. You'll be fine here." And she like kind of gestures off. She's like, "Of us here, we're smugglers before we crashed. Why else would we have taken such a less traveled route through these dangerous islands?" As she just kind of chuckles. And the captain just kind of. And actually, I would say Corono and Amon, you two specifically, because you got over 20. When you saw the captain and Wolf react to that, but you also saw Bradar just kind of awkwardly like shift his gaze away from it and then just kind of look down to the plate of food that one of the villagers had given him, and he's just like seemed he reacted to that question as well.
I'm gonna notice Amon noticing that and look at Amon like with a quiet question. Should we say anything or should we leave that for later?
Amon's just gonna like very slightly shake his head no.
There's a light dip of her beak in acknowledgement before she goes back to just kind of looking at him out of the side of her eye.
Ione, how are you reacting to this? Rayan is eyeing you.
Joanna, you didn't know that the ship was a smuggling ship, but you literally just signed up for the ship for this voyage. You were working. You're paying your way through working with the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you had no idea.
But yeah, Rayan is,
I don't know.
trying to get a gauge of how he feels.
He's just kind of shrugging.
Can I insight you?
And
Or is there
There's not much
there?
to insight.
Okay.
He's just
Yeah.
he's not being quick to jump to any conclusions.
Okay.
He's just kind of listening.
And Matilda, she goes, "One thing we've noticed is that either they attack passenger ships or cargo ships. And from what we can tell, they go in and your ship got attacked from beneath, right?"
Yeah, something
And
broke the ship in twine.
and there's like again another ripple of just annoyance and just not there's like a reaction that ripples that's a mix of like annoyance and anger and just like not like sort of like a long past resignation. Is like, "Oh, of course." And Matilda nods. She goes, "Yeah, something no one's really seen it and lived, but yeah, whatever's controlling the Sahagin and the Marrow has something else with it." And the captain goes, "Wait, did you say controlling?" And Matilda nods and she goes, "Yeah, have you ever heard of Marrow and Sahagin working together? Never happens. Or at least working together willingly? Never happens."
There was a lot wrong in that storm.
And Jaren pipes up and goes, "Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things I do after there's one of those storms. I go check the beach, see who or what's washed ashore." And the captain just kind of sighs and goes, I was just doing a normal run, doing a tobacco run from the archipelago to Ultek. And there's like some chuckles, and like the Brine man, he kind of laughs. He goes, "Oh, they would really not be happy with you." And I guess Ryoko, since you smoke, you would know that Formine Tobacco from the Formine Archipelago, which is the Brine Dwarf dominated faction, is considered one of the best smoking tobaccos, basically the entire shallow ocean. It is very highly taxed, very highly controlled, and it is one of the cash crops of the archipelago. So she goes, yeah, I was smuggling some in my hold, and that's normally just what I smuggle is stuff from the archipelago, but occasionally I'll get paid to carry other packages. Don't know what's in them, and just get paid to, transport them from one port to another. And on and Corona, like you see, like you hear this like slight little cough from Bradar as he like chokes a little bit on the water he was taking a sip from, but he like covers it. He's like, you would have only noticed that because you had already noticed him acting a little squirrely about this. No one else really paid much attention. As like the rest of the crew, they're just happily eating, and recovering. Well, maybe not happily. They're now learning that they're trapped on this island, but they're, focused on recovering after the ordeal.
Yeah. There's just a kind of a almost unnoticeable little snip, snip, snip noise as she kind of opens and closes her beak real quick. Annoyed.
And the first mate, Rolf, is like, now I doubt these fish people were interested in our tobacco. I don't know why they would come. You say they go after passenger ships, and Matilda sighs and he goes, we think that the other thing that they want are people. She just kind of shrugs. He goes, sometimes, people that have survived reported them, other crew or other passengers being just dragged under the water.
Do they come to shore?
Sometimes. Not they don't really, they stick to the beaches if they do. And she kind of gestures to the cliff again. She goes, that's why we're up here. If they try to get us, they either have to come through the jungle or climb up the cliff, but we keep eyes on that all throughout the night.
Why?
And Marlene,
Why attack? Because smuggling.
and Matilda goes, I can't speak personally. I was on a fishing boat, but I don't know. Some of our other people say they were transporting, and actually, you see, like one of the Warforged step forward, and he's clearly a Mercian make. He goes, I was a guard on a ship transporting supplies from Marcia. They seemed to be interested in our cargo, but it was like, and he goes, we were transporting Magitech parts, but kind of shrugs.
This
Don't
is
know
Ray
why.
in space, so she sees a walking metal man.
Yeah, there's only like a few of them, and this is like probably the one that looks the most built for combat. But And then another person pipes up and it goes, yeah, we were transporting, we weren't smuggling, we were just transporting potion materials from the archipelago to Ultec. And a lot of herbaceous materials and plant stuff comes from the archipelago. And they are a very powerful agricultural power in the shallow ocean. A lot of the food stuff comes from, plant-based food stuff comes from them. And a few other people just say they were just transporting, either smuggling. I will say, I keep asking for these. Someone wants to do like an Arcana or an Insight. One of those two.
Oh.
If-
I'll roll
I can do insight.
Oh my god, that's a 2! I rolled a 2!
Jesus Christ, Amon.
Okay, yeah, Amon. It's like some of the stuff you're not sure what it is, but as they some of the people explain what it is. Oh, and actually, Quiet Hearts. I don't know how Quiet Hearts would know this, but considering you're sheltered, but the two of you realize it's all like magical equipment or magical components or stuff that can be used for enchanting, or as the potion person said, magic, stuff that seems arcanely inclined.
Since it's a insight, I'm gonna go with they're inferring that,
Yeah.
it's something to do with magic, or they're just inferring quite a bit.
I'm still looking at this half orc, so.
Yeah, as it's continuing, he seems to be he stopped eating and he's just kind of looking at his plate just with this frown. And I'll just say from those good insight rolls previously that the two, Amon and Corona, he's got kind of a guilty look on his face, but he's not really looking at anyone.
Amon, in this situation, is going to quietly slip away from the big narration that he's just been kind of silently listening to. He's going to make his way over to the half-orc and sit down next to him as best as he can.
I would say that as this is all going, the villagers, this map, it's cook fire there, but then there are assorted logs and actual tables that they've constructed, and they're all just kind of, that's where you're all at. You're just at looks to be the main gathering or eating area.
Okay.
And sorry, you approach Bernard and what?
I'm going to kind of quietly approach Bernard and sit next to him and have a few moments of silence as they keep on going on with the narration, and say to him, it's not your fault, There's no way you could have known. Don't hold that guilt inside you.
And when you started talking to him, he does that startled jump when someone's deep in thought, suddenly get interrupted by someone they realize just walked up to them.
Yep.
He goes, and he just kind of quietly goes, I don't know what you mean, and I'm not very, and he says that, I don't know what you mean, he says like a liar.
He says like a liar.
Like a liar.
Guilt is a very easy thing to find if you know where you're looking. And it's kind of etched all over your face. It's not my business to ask what you had or what you were doing with it. And I honestly do not care. But do not hold that kind of a guilt inside yourself, for it will hurt you more when you least expect it to. There was no way you could have predicted as another being that we were going to get ambushed and onto a deserted island with everything. Apologies, I'm having a little bit of a moment. Brain, words, function, cool, go. It's not your fault, and don't worry about it. Your secret's safe with me.
You say that only to look up and realize the captain has been staring at you, and then like looks to Bradar and it goes, okay. And she just kind of like, and like Matilda notices this and she stops as the captain goes, okay, normally I'm a little more subtle about this, and this is actually, I normally don't ask what you're transporting, but Bradar, what did you pay me to transport? She rolled a 20 insight.
Oh God.
It's like there was the instinct of where did the dinosaur man go?
And he just kind of, like, the crew just kind of look at him, and everyone, like, some of the villagers look at him, and he goes, I was just, my job was to just ensure the delivery of the packages. And he like, he kind of like looks around as he suddenly realizes he's just like put on the spot. He's like, I didn't know this was gonna happen. Trust me, I don't want to be here. And he lifts up his arm and points at it. He's like, this isn't going to do well here. And the Warforged, you actually see like the three Warforged that are in there. They actually all laugh along with them, and they're like, yeah.
Ian walks over and like grabs his arm and like stares at it and casts mending. That
He, like,
feels
started to-
Warforged, so
Yeah, he started to pull away, but
what?
there is like a moment of realization, and it seems to be something that he's like, oh, as he just like lets you do it, and you do over the 10-minute that mending does, you know,
I
do
think
actually
you-
give it a nice little tune-up.
Yeah.
And it seemed, yeah, he like it was pretty quickly he realized what spell you were using, so he's not unfamiliar with that spell. He goes, oh, thank you. And you actually see some of the other Warforged are like, oh, may have to talk to her later. But he goes, there were 2 packages. And the captain's nodding. She goes, yes, you were the one who. And she glances over at the gnome that followed, and he's just glaring daggers at Bradar because he seems to be blaming him. Goes, Riz was just paying to be smuggled himself, and then the gnome shifts the glare over at her, like, really? But
Wow.
you get the feeling the captain, she's just kind of a little pissed off that her boat's gone, even though she's, you know, maybe later will understand, but at the moment you get the feeling she's just venting. But and Bradar goes, all I know is that they were either enchanted themselves or dealing with Magitech. That's all. That's just what my boss said. She just told me to make sure I get these from the archipelago to Ultec. And the captain just, okay, so you don't even know what was in them. And he goes, I'd be completely honest, I don't know. Insight check if anyone wants.
Amon's been rolling pretty good with them, so yeah.
I'll try.
Of course, I say something.
This is turning into the session. This is turning into the session for insight checks, apparently.
All right, Corona.
Yeah, Corona. Since you've been like watching this guy, you get the feeling that he really either he's not telling exactly the full truth, but you get you do believe him when he says he doesn't know why these would be attacked or taken, or what exactly they are. He's not telling the full truth, but he is being honest about. He's like, I don't know why they would attack.
Just kind of makes a humming.
And actually,
Excuse me.
He did seem very kind of skittish after the undead attack. You do remember that after there was an undead scuffle, that's was like the first time you noticed something off about him. Because I actually remember that the first session. I
Yeah.
specifically noticed him like react to hearing that there were undead.
I swallowed something wrong. Give me a second.
Oh. Oh no.
You need a water?
No, I'm good. I needed to get out of my lungs. That's what I need.
Yeah.
Aspiration sucks.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm almost there. Okay.
I'm not the only one with throat problems today.
She makes kind of a clicking sound in the back of her throat, and they try to catch everybody's attention, and then she goes, "There's only one thing to blame for any of this," and she points out to the water. Laying blame on our fellow castaways will get us nothing.
Sorry, what was that?
Huh? What
I'm
did
sorry.
you...
Sorry. I got a message and my brain did that thing where I can't focus on words and reading at the same time.
She
Sorry.
basically said there's only one person to blame for this, or one thing to blame for this, and she points out to the water, gesturing to, bring their attention to the fact that they were attacked by things that nobody was expecting an attack from, and then saying it's not any good to blame people that you're stuck on an island with and you have to work together with. Get over it, basically.
When you point out the water, like, you see like the villagers just kind of nod, and seems to be like a real or something that quite a few of them have realization that quite a few of them have had to come to themselves in the past. But Marlene goes, "Oh yeah, the eyes in the deep." Yeah, and there's just like this groan from Matilda, and then like there's some whispers from the people as Matilda just goes, "Marlene, I told you, stop bringing that up. You know it upsets people."
Eyes of the deep?
Well, you're here now, so you'll find this out when you go to sleep. But yes, you explain it, and Marlene's just kind of, "Oh, all right. When you sleep, you dream. Well, normally you don't share dreams, but we've been here on this island, and we've heard our friendly neighbors, the Moonscale, say this happens to them too. But yeah, there's eyes in the deep. Something that I think it's what's controlling them." And then like another, like Susanna actually chimes in. She goes, "That's also why some of us just get up in the middle of the night and walk into the woods and don't come back. Walk into the jungle."
Oh.
So,
Excuse me.
blaming the people that were trapped along with you is not particularly a good idea when, as you said, nobody had any idea that this would happen.
And Matilda, she goes, "Yes, exactly that." And she like kind of looks to the villagers and goes, "I want to reiterate, no one is to blame for this, for why we are here. It is whatever the fuck is down there in the reef." And there's like a murmuring, of the group, the villagers, as they just kind of like, "All right, yes, Matilda." It seems to be like a discussion she's had to have before.
I know what happens when people start blaming themselves and they're stuck on a desert island. They start dying.
So, you and Matilda goes, "Normally we don't get this many people showing up, so some of you will have to share share a floor in the longhouse until eventually we can build some additional huts, buildings. But I mean, you're here. Welcome to Rondo Village. I guess have fun getting to know everybody. You're gonna be here with us for a while. And she's not saying that as like disparaging. It's just matter of fact.
Here you are. Try to get along with everybody.
Yeah. And she goes, if you have questions, just if you need to talk to me, ask around. She points off to the central tree, and she goes, the big central tree that has multiple buildings. She goes, that's where I stay. Just if you need to talk to me, ask around, point you to me. And tomorrow we'll figure out how you all can contribute to the village.
I actually wanted to ask you about that in private, if that was possible. Karana was just kind of nervous when she says that.
And Matilda just there's a pause before she goes, all right, sure. And if you want to talk now, let's go. Or, if you want to talk now, we can. And then she looks to the group or the villagers, and she goes, make sure you welcome now I'm blanking. Our new neighbors. Make sure they feel welcome. And yeah, she kind of steps away and nods to Corona if you want to follow her. But the Marlene and Arid will help. Who was it? A wood elf woman. Actually, you realize the mother of Susanna, because this wood elf, there's a familial resemblance. She seems to be like the main chef. As Susanna hands off you saw her hand off the food, and she's the one who walks up with the cooked food for the night and starts making sure everyone has a good decent meal after being washed up and having to hike all day through a jungle. And Ryoko, you very quickly find what looks to be a barrel, or actually a few hollowed out gourds that are being passed around that you find is the jungle wine made from.
Oh yeah, I get on that shit.
Ryan, the food this time has noticeably not touched the fish or the bird or the meat specifically. She's queasy this time.
Yeah, and I'll just say it's actually a surprisingly widespread of food. There's exotic compared to what you would probably normally eat. Fruits and stuff taken from the jungle, heard from the jungle. There's berries and stuff. There's racks of animals. You actually see Dodo, and Marlene proudly says that they rate that she has a flock of dodos. You find that as she's as just over conversation, she's kind of the caretaker of the animals that the villagers have gathered for their farm, kind of a small farm. But yeah, it's actually a very filling and nice little feast that they're preparing for the newcomers. And actually, there is a lot of the plant-based food is kelp. There's a lot of kelp.
Hey, she's queasily looking at the meat. She pokes a fruit and whispers quietly to Courage. Leaf.
This plant.
Plant. Leaf is plant?
Yes. Like leaf, but tastes better.
She is very quiet about this one. She's nervous asking such an obvious question around so many new people.
Oh, and actually, like, surprisingly, like, I'll get to Kirono and Matilda talking. Sorry, I have a bad habit of describing food scenes, but the you actually
I already
see
have food,
there
so you
is
won't
a
make me hungry.
there is like a full side of sea cow on a spit by the bonfire,
Oh hell.
and Marlene, she says, "Oh yeah, me and Arid, we have a." She like gestures over to the cliff, and it's kind of an inlet. Oh, and you know what? I'll actually say that during the thing, someone will actually have brought a map, a homemade map of the island, and I'll just reveal the island,
Hey,
just so y'all get a idea of what the island looks like. Come on, roll 20. Roll 20. Work.
Never.
Fog of War is
41.
frustrating. There.
There we go.
ooh, big.
I'll just move Jaren. I'll just take Jaren off the map since you all know where you're at now. But
No.
Marlene and Arid explained that in the little inlet there, at the base of the cliff is where they've got their traps for fishing and stuff. That's where they go and fish during the day, and also have a small herd of sea cows, which aren't like stellar sea cows. No, these are the setting hybrids of a water ox in front and a manatee in back.
Oh.
So they are literally the sea cows. They are kind of a common staple for domesticated farming.
Good old sea beef.
Sea beef. And eat it. That's what you do with beef.
God damn it.
Sea beef, eat beef.
Quiet Arts is definitely tasting a little bit of everything.
Corrado, your Matilda is kind of leading you off, and she goes, "Did you want to speak in one of the buildings, or just she kind of steps off to the side from the crowd?"
Just, she just kind of does jerky bird movements, you know?
Yeah.
She goes, "It looks like you have enough food. I am a cleric, and I can create it and water from nothing. Do you need fresh water?"
And she goes, "I mean, we won't turn it down." And she kind of gestures off, and at the edge of the village, meandering through it, is a distributary. I think is it when a stream branches off of a river.
Tributary,
She
yeah.
goes. She goes. We actually diverted a part of the river to pass through here, but I mean that would be very helpful. Clean water is always needed.
She clicks her beak
Saves
like
us from boiling it.
She clicks her beak like nervously, and she goes, "Sometimes people do not like drinking the water that I make because it is magic."
And she laughs at that. She goes, "Don't have to worry about that here. We'll take whatever we can." I mean, there was sometimes when things are a little lean and we can't, harvest go into the water too much. We sometimes have to rely on Marlene's good berries.
Well, I will help there when I can or need to.
That is very appreciated.
And I will find containers for water, and I will do that now.
Okay. And she points you out. Actually, she goes, "Talk to Rizilda. She'd be able to." And she, yeah, if you go talk to Rizilda, there's some like rain barrels they have from like salvaged barrels, or even some that looks like they made themselves. And also like plenty of like hollowed out gourds and stuff. Yeah, they've got. So
They've got the
depending on
containers.
how many spell slots you want to use, you can give them a very good buffer of clean fresh water.
Yep, 30 gallons of it. So it's gonna go do that in a bunch of gourds and barrels, and everybody can just see her directing the water into it without saying a word after she's done talking to Matilda.
I'm hearing
Yeah.
the Sorcerer's Apprentice.
So yeah, they seem when people realize what you're doing, they seem very appreciative. Radar, like Amon, like as people are kind of moves to sit away from the crew and the gnome, which I'll just say that since people start introducing themselves around the village, that you overhear that the gnome is actually named Riz, because someone pestered him enough. But yeah, Bradar seems to be, while the lesson was definitely learned by the villagers, it seems that some of the Driftwood Dolphins crew and the passenger Riz might be a little not as forgiving yet.
Mm.
But he's just kind of sitting off on his own in his own thoughts as he's eating. After Rayan helped patch up his arm, of course.
Yeah. Which of the Warforged looks the most fucked up?
That would probably be the one that talked, and the one that kind of. You learn his name is Anchor, and he's a. Actually, do you go talk to him?
Yeah. After she eats some, she then piles a plate full of more vegetables and fruits and carries it over to him. And little embarrassed, like shy wave. Hello.
Oh, hello. As he's just kind of standing off to the side, he's not like away from the. He's kind of like standing off away from the main, like gathering, as he's kind of like looking off towards the walls, but he's still like present.
He's not avoiding people. He's just doesn't eat, so he's not really partaking.
Yeah, and he's also keeping an eye out.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say by this point, darkness has fully fallen, and like, really, the only lights around are, some firefly type insects buzzing around that glowing, and the bonfire, and some smaller like lanterns and stuff that they light.
Oh. She is visibly distracted by the lights.
He goes, and this Warforged goes, I heard you were Rayan, right?
Yes, me, Rayan. You?
Name's Anchor. Anchor.
Anchor.
Mm-hmm.
Anchor.
Yes, I know. Same thing as what's on the ships.
Tilt your head.
And he's just like, don't worry about it. He goes, what can I help you with?
Hurt. You're hurt.
And he kind of like looks down, and he's got, he's definitely weathered. Like, definitely hasn't seen polish in a few years. But he's just like, I mean, I know I don't look the best anymore, but not hurt. And he kind of like tilts his head, almost like, he doesn't have expressions, but he does like almost as if he copied it from the humanoids. Kind of tilts his head curiously.
Not hurt.
I mean, I'm a little scratched up, but no, not injured.
Oh, okay.
And like he's like now like almost like looking at him almost like self-consciously, and it's just like, no commanding officer would be a guest if he saw the state of me, but I haven't seen that guy in 12 years, so whatever.
She holds up the plate of food. Hungry?
No. I mean, not really, but tastes good. And he does pick up like this small little purple fruit. It's kind of like a kiwi sized, and he just like pops it in. That is one thing about Warforged. They don't need to eat. They can consume things, and he goes, tart. And apparently this one actually has a sense of taste.
She flops down on the ground next to him. And reaches over and like rubs a hand across like the most messed up looking part.
Yeah. Yeah, he's probably like one of his forearms, so it looks like he's probably had to block a few blows with it.
Yeah, and she's got to start mending his arm.
Oh. And he like same thing with like Bradar, where there's a moment where he like kind of recoils, but then after a moment he realizes what you're doing. He's like, oh, thank you kindly. Don't know why the Marician Atlantean sounds like a Texan or
I'm here for it.
Bring it.
I just go Southern when I voice Warforged. I don't know why.
Bring it.
It's good to
Bring
do
it.
stuff.
Bring it back.
I mean, thank you, Miss Rayan.
Welcome.
Yeah, he seems very appreciative. It's probably the first time in a while he's
Had just like
magical mending like that. He goes, haven't really had anyone to help me with that since. Where the fuck did I put this guy? Oh no. Don't you hate when you wrote down something in your notes and then it's just like, all right, now where is it?
Yeah.
Oh, and okay, there it is. Why did I put it in this? Whatever. He goes, not since Jarrus went off to study the ruins. He'll stay in there for like days before he comes back to the village looking for food. No, not the lighthouse. And he kind of points off northeast. You can't really see it at night, but he points off to this little thing here. He goes, "Oh no, small little outpost. Used to be Ruby Empire. Jarrus is he comes from Meridonia like I do."
Words hard.
And he kind of nods and he goes, he goes, yeah, there's a lot that I don't even bother with trying to pronounce.
New words.
So, as
Lots of
Rand's
words.
as Rand's, patching this gap, what are the rest of you doing? I know is filling up water and stuff.
I was going to say that Amon is probably sitting near Bernard, partially because he's now worried that people are going to try and kill him in his sleep.
Just sampling the wine and enjoying it because it's alcoholic. Yoko finds someone who looks approachable amongst the townies and is like, all right, so how does somebody earn their keep around here? Because I'm going to be getting a lot of this stuff as well as food, and I need to know what you got to do to get it.
And God, this hobgoblin just like she's like, oh, don't worry, dear. Tomorrow we'll figure that out. Tonight, just enjoy yourself.
She slaps the goblin really hard on the back. Don't tell me twice. Woo!
And like the hobgoblin just laughs, and she like turns back to the person she was helping with like cooking and stuff. She's just like, I mean, some people handle it better than others. But Amon Bernard's just kind of sitting there, just quietly eating. No one seems like looking at him with murderous intent. Just like, oh, this fucking guy kind of attitude at the moment.
Yeah, it's in those situations where sometimes you want to have a friend. So he's
Oh,
just going to quietly kind of like grab some food, and sit down and be like, "If you don't mind, I'd like to sit next to you."
And he nods and is like, oh, go ahead. He's kind of like, it's like a short log that maybe only like 2 or 3 people could sit on, but there's plenty of room for the two of you since you don't take up too much room yourself.
I don't. It's kind of nice sometimes. But he'll take a seat next to him and dine on some fish and pheasant. So if Rayon takes a look over, you're going to see a very much toothier look into Oman.
Oh yeah, and yeah, they've got like roast dodo. They've got the pheasant.
She just happens to look over that way when you're doing that, and she like squeaks. And
Yeah, there's even like, sorry.
yeah, she just squeaks and looks very intently back at Anchor.
And you actually hear off in the distance the bleating of some goats. They do have goat milk and iffy looking, but still cheese, some goat cheese.
Probably eat some cheese. You know, what's wrong with a little cheese in your life?
It's cheese. It's not like the best refined, but it's still, cheese.
There's some questions on if I'm an omnivore or not, but we're gonna find out.
I'm just gonna say that yes, you're enough of an omnivore that a little bit of cheese won't wreck you. Like maybe too much would definitely give you a bad stomach, but you're not like lactose intolerant. Well, dang, aren't dinosaurs lactose intolerant? Was there even milk back then?
Well, I can tell you right now that birds are not lactose intolerant,
Okay.
but they shouldn't eat a lot of it.
Yeah.
Like,
So yeah, you can have a little bit of cheese as a treat.
Yeah.
That's a treat.
You don't just pig out on it 24/7. You're fine.
Yep.
So,
We should
The
be fine.
concern in your voice for a minute there. Were not dinosaurs lactose intolerant?
it's just like one of those questions you never think to ask, because it's just like, oh, wait, I know there were maybe mammals back then, but was there milk?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, would dinosaurs milk rodents, or would they just eat them?
Yeah, they'll just milk added in if they eat the whole thing.
Okay, moving on.
We're
Just
moving on.
imagining a Tyrannosaurus Rex taking up a tiny Dodolphodon, just like with his little teeny fingers squeezing.
That's why their arms were so tiny?
William.
I hate where this is going.
William, stop
Oh,
now,
it's milk.
please.
Gotta get my
Cookies.
milk!
hey, no. Anyway,
TV milkies.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, cookies.
Goes back
After a
to
bit
the
of fixing-
milkies.
I was gonna say actually, Joanna and oh god, Joanna and
Great.
Quiet Heart. Sorry.
Yeah.
What are the two of you doing
Oh,
for dinner or at this dinner?
sampling different food, just raw curiosity, going, what does everything taste like?
Yeah, that's a wide selection, and it's like
Yeah.
for shipwreck survivors on an island, they seem to be rather self-sufficient with like they've got good amount of food. No one seems to be like starving or malnourished.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just try a
So
little bit.
either
of
they are very effective survivalists, or people have been here long enough that they've developed this system that keeps them alive.
Alrighty.
But I will say that you probably do get some like odd looks because not many people make it to the island wearing full armor like you are.
Oh god, no.
Usually, people who are wearing armor either sink, and if they aren't a warforged, they don't walk along the bottom to get to shore.
It probably also doesn't help that just food is vanishing underneath their mask and just not even really chewing motions, just food is just going in.
Oh,
There are like a few of the village kids because there are children here, children of various ages and some teenagers, and they just
oh
kind of.
God.
Some of the younger kids are just like kind of watching, just like, whoa, what are you kind of attitude.
Completely distracted by the food, doesn't even notice them.
Oh no. Oh, shady.
Mhm.
Sorry, Shady saying the episode title is going to be Our Dinosaurs Lactose Intolerant. But, you want to...
T-Rex needs Milkies.
Oh,
Or his cookies.
You would know, wouldn't you, William?
God damn it.
Tyrantus needs Milkies.
Me Tyrantus need my milk.
We're not.
Okay.
No, we're not doing that to Tyrantus. You can make fun of me. You don't do it to the Jade Giant.
Not to my boy.
Have
This is
some
my boy
fucking
alone.
standards.
PD does not want his boy besmirched.
Have some fucking standards. You can attack me. You don't attack my boy.
We found it. We have found your limit.
Oh my god.
So, okay, taking their aids again.
You know what I
hear? Are you muted?
He's
I'm still
eating.
here.
Okay.
Oh my god.
I was just saying how Ione's handling this.
Sorry, I'm somewhat out of it.
Oh, no worries.
Ugh.
All right.
Yeah, just a little tired.
Okay.
Ugh.
But unless
Have
there
I
was,
missed anything?
just seeing what Ione would be doing, for the night before
Oh.
it gets too late.
Oh.
No worries.
Sorry to hold up.
Oh, you're fine. I mean, if Ione's just having dinner, that's fine.
Yeah, yeah, that sounds about right then.
Okay. So is anything? Sorry, what was that?
After having sat fixing Anchor for a while, who was the one who mentioned the eyes?
Oh, that would be Marlene.
Do I see where she went?
Oh yeah, she's still with like the group
Okay.
or like the main gathering area.
Ryan's going to approach her.
Okay. And she's just like talking with someone as you walk up. One of the other villagers. She'd probably be talking to Arid. Just like socializing with people. The group would learn that Arid and Marlene, they're kind of the ones in charge of the fish. Arid's in charge of fishing, and she's in charge of the animals, but they both take care of the sea cows together.
It's good.
I wonder
Marlene.
if the instinct still stands of whenever you see a sea cow, you go, cow.
Cow.
Marlene?
Yes. Rayan, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yes. You said eyes.
Uh-huh. And there's like a delay, and like Arid has to like, elbow her, and she's like, "Oh yes, eyes, yes."
Is it delay because she didn't get it, or is she distracted by the way Rayan looks?
Not by Rayan. You see that in her hand she has like a long wooden hand carved pipe, and there's a very pungent smoke.
Oh, she's high. God damn it!
What eyes?
Oh.
The dream.
And Arid just kind of sighs, and he's just like, bro, she's not going to be any help to you right now. And she kind of like takes over. He goes, she calls them eyes on the deep. It's kind of what people started calling it. Dreams come when you're asleep. You think you're underwater. You're drowning. You're in the dark. Something grabs you, and you see eyes shining through the murk. And sometimes it drags you deep. Sometimes you escape to the surface and you wake up. Or you get dragged to the deep and you wake up. And he just kind of shrugs and goes, honestly, they could use a little variety. It's gotten tiring after 6 years.
Eyes hungry?
And they kind of like glance at each other. Goes, I don't know about. Oh, maybe hungry. Yeah. I mean, it does kind of feel like something's grabbing you, and when something grabs you when you're underwater, they're either checking you out or they're gonna eat you. So.
Rayan's face is getting like very serious.
And it's actually Marlene who like pats you on the shoulder with her massive hand, because this is a very large furbolg woman,
Yeah.
and she goes, "Oh, don't worry, that's down in the water. We're up here on dry land. Don't worry."
Why?
But you did hear like I can't remember who said it, but I think it was Susanna who mentioned something about people disappear into the jungle.
Yeah.
People disappear. They walk. Gone.
Yes.
Oh.
And Marlene just kind of goes, I think it's the dreams. It happens when everyone's asleep. Sometimes we'll see people go walking off, and, Anchor will get him. He stays up all night keeping an eye out. But, sometimes we'll catch them as they walk off, and it's like they were sleepwalking. So that's why I think it's the dreams. And then they wake up, you wake them up, and then they're just suddenly shocked they were out in the woods, in the jungle. And Arid goes, yeah, but that's the weird part, miss. They go inland towards the island. They don't go to the water. That's the weird part.
But
she points towards like this, not specifically towards that, just like in that direction. Inland.
And they're like, yeah, they gesture in that direction. Yeah.
what?
And did you say why?
Yeah, she's saying it more than
And they
herself, but like her face is like very.
And they both just kind of shrug. Goes, don't know why. Well, we'll have to find out, Arid says as he just kind of grumbles. He goes, doesn't happen often, but every once in a while we lose somebody, and it's just like it's fucked up. We go through all the shit, survive being attacked by the fish, and then we wind up somehow surviving to the island, find the village and all our little family here, and then you could just get up in the middle of the night and walk away, get gone. That's fucked up.
Fucked up.
And he takes a drink. He's been drinking from the berry wine as well.
Congratulations, you have gotten her to swear.
I didn't give her any context for it either.
No, she just gets fucked up means bad.
And yeah, they was there anything else?
No, she's concocting a plan.
Okay. Uh-oh. But so yeah, unless there was anything anyone specifically wanted to talk to someone about, any of the villagers or ask around. I mean, it's free night. Everyone's just seems to be happy that so many people survived, because like they say, this is the biggest group of survivors they've had wash ashore. Like the most at one time was like 6 people who managed to cling to an overturned lifeboat.
I would like to stay up tonight.
Okay.
I would like to take a short rest. And, see where Anchor goes to watch for people, and Rayan's going to go, to a different spot.
Okay.
So she can get, a wider angle.
Yeah, it's Anchor and a few others seem to take a watch. They either go up into the just go back to the village. They mostly stand in the trees closest to the walls, just kind of look out. But also there are a few people, or 1 or 2 that patrol. Or there's a few that patrol at night. It's it's still a very, very it's wild. You gotta be vigilant, especially at night.
Yeah.
But, yeah, if you start, try to help them out, they won't say no.
Yeah, she wants to help them out, and she's going to not take a buddy with her. And use, so as she's patrolling, her Eldritch Sight, which is essentially detect magic.
Yeah. Okay. That's what's Raiden doing. Rest of you, there's a longhouse, which I think would be probably this one. It's the biggest one. That seems like it's kind of used for storage. There's bundled food or bundles and stuff, hides from animals they've hunted here or other things, and it just seems to be and a lot of the stuff that the crew carried with them ended up stashed there. It just seems to be a big storage area, and it's not the most comfortable, but it's dry and keeps you indoors. So the group gets their own is able to bunk down there. Let's see. So everyone's going to bed then, besides Rayan?
Yes.
So
Sure, Ryoko can't stay up much longer.
yeah.
Well, she can party late into the night if she wants to, but she's content to get rest.
Kinda drunk.
She can party late into the night drunk if she wants to.
It's surprisingly easy.
So Yeah.
Will I take a point of exhaustion for this?
Yeah, because it was
Okay.
a long walk.
Yeah.
Long, intense walk. So yeah, you
She-
would be getting a point of exhaustion beyond
She
just
takes-
not sleeping for the night.
Yeah, she takes a short rest
Actually, shit.
before patrol.
I will actually need. Actually, everyone, if you could give me a con save just to see how you all dealt with the hike.
Okay. Ha. 26.
That's about right.
Oh, courage.
They're not very fit, which is weird.
10.
I
If
got
you want,
three.
if you want to roll a con save,
That was a lucky roll.
There you go.
and then okay, only Quiet Hearts and Amon. Both of you. Oh, excuse me. By the time you got to the village, you did have a point of exhaustion, which will go away after you sleep. So,
Okay.
And I will gain one.
Quiet Hearts, I'm sure it was like having to march through jungle in your armor was just kind of brutal on you.
I mean, they only have a strength. They have a relatively low strength score. They're not used to being this.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
So, yeah. Although, excuse me, Ray will in the morning have a point of exhaustion.
I got my
If you
spell
stay
slot
up.
back.
Oh no, you're not
Well-
going coffee lock, are you?
Coffee lock?
Uh,
Oh, no. She just wants to see if anyone is, affected in the night by the sleepwalking.
Okay. And I will ask you to do a perception check.
Oh, no. All right. Here we go. 4. Fuck.
Wow.
I know what I'm taking for my next level up. Or my next ABI level up.
What is this
Wisdom?
thing called sleep? And exhaustion. Fatigue.
Oh, she slept a few times on the boat because it was a few days,
Yeah.
2 or 3 days before the arrow attacked. But okay. And now everyone who's asleep, just roll a wisdom.
saving
Actually,
throw
wisdom
or
save.
No, charisma save.
Ooh.
oh, okay. Yeah, I'm fine.
Oh. Oh no. Okay, that's 2 good ones. 3 good ones. On.
Fucking barbarian is swag in his sleep.
Yeah, apparently. Okay. Right.
Oh, sorry. What's up?
Christmas save.
Charisma save, please,
Charisma saving throw. Okay.
for everyone that's sleeping.
I am not proficient in that.
Hey!
Who?
Doesn't
Not
matter
bad.
because I am, and I rolled a fucking
Oh no, that is.
5.
A 9.
Yeah,
Okay.
dice
So
for dice.
everyone has a very deep sleep. Well, a normal sleep. Come on, motorcycle people. It's 8 p.m. Why are you right up and down the hallway? For the
It's at 8
Sorry.
p.m. Friday night. before-
neighbor motorcyclist is obnoxious about when he goes tearing through at night. But I mean, who knows? He might have a night shift. I shouldn't judge. But so I shouldn't say average night because I don't know if anyone's had no one's really had a shipwreck experience before, but because it was such a kind of intensive day, a lot of you just fall asleep, no problem. There might be some dreams, but nothing
Can I
out of
make
the
a
ordinary
con
for
save
some of
to
you.
see if I can stay awake?
Actually, yeah, let's do that.
I'm good at that, but let's see. Okay, 15.
Okay, yeah, you're fine. You're able to stay up. Corona,
Mm-hmm.
you're asleep, and I don't know what's a common dream that Corona would have.
She doesn't usually have any.
Okay,
Exactly like me, I don't actually usually have any, and when
that
I do
works.
have them, I remember them, so...
Okay, so I'll just say it's like it almost feels like one of the dreams where it's like you're not sure. You think it's just normal, and you're flying through the air over the sea. It's a bright day, probably something you've done many times, just sailing. Just gliding. It's very peaceful. But then you glance down and you see the once clear blue waters have gone dark, as if like an oil spill is emerging from beneath. And there's like this compulsion that you feel. It's like when you stand on the edge of a cliff or a tall building and you just have that like urge in the back of your head. It's like, hey, go jump, but you'd never do it. But this time you feel this compulsion. It's like dive, and you do, and it's like when you dove in to grab Rand's book and you just dive into this dark water, and then normally it's like you'd be able to dash up into the air again. This time you dive into the water, and it's like tar. It's thick and it's cloying, and you feel like getting to your feathers as the water suddenly black and it's just dark around you, and you feel it's almost like the water itself constricting you like a fist, and you feel yourself being pulled down, and the moment before you wake up, you look down and you see three red eyes just gleaming in the darkness before you are suddenly awoken.
Woof.
Uh-oh. Am I still coming through?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Roll 20 popped up saying disconnected, so I was hoping my Wi-Fi didn't just die in the middle of delivering that dialogue.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you wake up in the middle of the night. Birds don't sweat, but if you were, a humanoid, you'd be sweating up, that cold sweat. And it's just like, thankfully, your feathers, like if you check yourself, there's like no evidence of anything physical. Although it's just like in those moments of waking up, you almost feel that pressure around your torso, like something was still squeezing you. But you chalk it up to like after effects of the dream, and it might take you a bit, but eventually you do fall asleep. Unless I don't want to, unless you wanted to do something when you woke up, but it wouldn't take too long for you to fall back asleep. And thankfully, there's no more dreams.
Before she does lay back down, she's just gonna kind of look in the direction of, where she knows the ocean is, and make that quiet humming sound again. If anybody was awake to see her narrow her eyes, and then she is, but she's gonna just lay back down and like make a note of that in the back of her head. Like, you want to start a fight with me, motherfucker?
You're on my shit list.
And so,
I got a Thor perception, but I did have my Eldritch sight up. Did I see anything magic?
Beyond like walking past like Anchor, and who is a magical construct, there's not really anything magical that you see. There is actually on one of the huts, you do see there is a lantern that's burning, and it is a lantern of continual flame. So just there are things that like a few things around. It looks like personal stuff maybe, or like little minor enchanted things, but nothing really significant you don't really notice anything significant during your watch.
Okay.
You do hear like the typical. Well, you wouldn't think typical, but it must be brand new experience for Rayan. But there is like that typical chorus of night creature sounds and insect call, chirping or trilling, and just the jungle at night is not a quiet place, and
Yeah.
it's
First time she hears a new sound, she finds Anchor. Just ask him what it is.
yeah, and he goes, oh yeah, that's probably a jaguar. Sounds like they're hunting. Um, it he will graciously, he he doesn't get frustrated with you. He's very like supportive, I guess, because it's not the first time he's seen someone unable to sleep. The first time, their first night getting to the island.
Aw.
But otherwise, it's an uneventful night, and eventually dawn comes. And actually, because you're on the eastern side of the island, it's actually a very pretty sight, Ryan, because it's coming up
she
over
she watches
Yeah,
the whole thing.
it comes up over the horizon of the ocean. And it's just like the whole ocean glitters, and like even Anchor, he goes, "Yep, it's always beautiful."
Like, slack-jaw, dumbfounded.
But yeah, new day dawns. Everyone except Ryan got rid of their exhaustion point.
I got one.
You got one, and new day starts.
And
And
find you guys.
sorry, what was that?
Oh,
Yeah,
this fucking
She
hangover.
yawned. She yawned and said hello.
It was too high pitched, I think, for the mic.
God damn it! Discord, why do you do this to me?
It's not Discord, it's your mic.
Mike, why do you do this to me?
There you go.
She yawns and says, "Morning."
So, are we all sleeping in the same place, basically?
Yeah, you were all kind of stuffed into the storage longhouse.
All right.
I am somewhat grateful to not be sleeping on the deck of a rocking ship anymore.
Good to see. Quiet Heart slept in their armor, and they slept like literally sitting up, knees against chest, head down into knees, arms circling around. Just the most uncomfortable position, obviously.
Hmm.
Hmm?
Gosh. Aw.
Morning. Sun pretty.
Just slowly getting up. They begin to stretch, and it's just like a chorus of cracks because obviously he slept in the worst position possible. Like an accordion of pops, essentially.
Oh God.
I hate that. Thanks, Raven.
I've slept in a shitty chair. I know exactly how that sounds.
Yeah.
It's like a secondary set of fireworks going off in your immediate vicinity, pressure releasing.
So,
thank you. Anyways, it's just hello, good morning.
Sun, it's pretty.
It's very pretty. Do not stare at it. You could hurt your eyes.
Oh.
I mean, directly into it. You can look at it, kind of. Just don't look directly into it.
No, it's not. No, never mind.
Sun is a deadly laser.
She. We'll do that later, actually.
How sleep?
That's pretty good.
Looks to the rest of you.
The captain kind of ambles up. She goes, "God, I missed my bed, but not bad."
And worse.
Karano is staring off into the ocean again. Her beak half open and making a hissing noise. Eyes narrowed.
You're gonna lose that
Toronto?
fight.
Toronto?
I had one of those dreams everybody was talking about last night, I'm pretty sure.
Toronto? Hungry? Bad water? Hungry?
No, I am fine.
No. Was the water hungry?
I don't think it was the water, but it was something in the water, yes.
Mm.
And she's going to explain the sensations and sights in her dream. It's kind of like summing it all up.
And
Okay.
Y'all kids want some dreams? I haven't introduced the Sandman Dust arc, but it's a drug.
Oh God.
No. I mean, small tangent. In Perdido Street Station, there is a major plot point. There is a drug called Dream Shit, where if you eat it, you do experience other people's dreams.
Oh, that's
Wild.
weird.
It's cool,
Yeah.
but what?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just you don't want to know how those other people's dreams got into this drug.
Oh no.
It's kind of fucked up.
Oh.
But I'll just say the name is kind of literal for Dream Shit.
Mm.
So I would say you probably like go and eat at gather at the cooking area where it looks like Griselda is up early making something like it's kind of like a gruel-ish type oatmeal. Just something really hearty for people as they're getting ready for work in the day. But when you describe that, there's a few people who are like, they kind of nod knowingly when you describe it. Shady, I gotta stop looking at chat. But yeah, they like, actually, let me see. Okay, yeah, Radar and a few other crew members, of the Driftwood Dolphin, they kind of filed out with the group and headed over, and they heard you say that, and like a few of them murmur, and Radar also, they kind of nod and murmur, saying they had similar dreams. Like Radar says he remembers, I was on the deck of the ship again, and only this time when I went under the water, something pulled me under and I didn't come back up. And a few other crew members say the same thing. It's like a similar tale where they were swimming or they were already underwater or like knocked off the ship. It's varied in how the dreams start, but they all seem to end with being dragged into the darkness.
Do they mention the eyes?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm laughing at something else. That's just hilarious. But yeah, I'll just say, Rayan, it's just like bad vibes just all around.
Visibly frustrated. Like, this is the first time you've seen her outside of the fight when she got angry. This is the first time you've seen her, like, visibly, like she's like trying to focus on something, but she can't get it, and it's clearly making her angry.
You okay?
Ah! What? Taps her foot. Eyes of the deep. Eyes of the deep. It's something.
Oh, if anyone has like proficiency in religion, you could roll
It's the funniest thing.
proficiency in religion or arcana, but you have to be proficient in it.
Proficient in Arcana.
Oh, that's the funniest thing. I'm a cleric and I didn't take religion because I didn't think I
Oh,
needed
God
it.
I mean, it's fine. It's
Uh,
like, okay, I should have said that was something I always meant to do for like a home roll. If you're a cleric, you can use wisdom to roll religion because that is, or same with the druid rolling nature. It always bugged me that those are intellect, which normally those are the dump stats for the clerics or druids.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Would you
I mean,
like
if
me
you're not
to do that?
proficient,
I'm not proficient in it, so.
oh, okay. I special. You can roll, religion if you want. I'll say you get special exception, but anyone else you'd have to be proficient.
I'm just gonna roll a d20 plus 4, so basically be the same. There you go.
Whoa. 18.
And as you're kind of thinking about it, it's like something jogs your memories, and it's like how studious was Kurono with like actually reading. I guess he's not proficient in religion, so probably not much. But
Not
it's like,
much.
you're more of a cleric of the world rather than like studying, which is honestly fits your god. They are a god of storms rather than books.
Yeah, I'm just going out in the world and blowing the fuck out of things with lightning, so I didn't.
Yeah, I mean,
That's for nerd shit.
Black Karak, the Storm Viper, they are one of their domains is war, so it makes sense. But whoever like you, it's kind of like jogs this memory. You remember hearing this old like salty, crusty bird talking about like it jogs your memory, and it's they're like. The eyes in the depths do not follow their light. They only lead to pain and misery. And it's like you will lose your minds to be slaved like the ruby empress slaved the flesh. And it kind of clicks. It's just like, oh, it kind of clicks. You start thinking like people disappearing, and then you realize the Sahagin and the marrow. You think that something is you get it kind of clicks where it's like there is something controlling and enslaving the minds of these people and the fish people.
She's gonna recount that, and along with the words of the older bird cleric, I'm guessing, that she recalled. She's gonna repeat them word for word when it comes to her head. She's gonna kind of absent-mindedly mutter that to herself out loud.
And so it's like out in the cooking area, and like there's some people. Rosilda overhears that, and she's probably one of the older members of the village, because elves, if they're like actually like full-blooded elves, if they seem like even slightly old, they're old. Mm-hmm. Like she's probably getting closer to 200 years old, but she goes, and she's just like, sounds like it's probably what's down in the reef. And she goes, there's a reef that surrounds the island. It used to be, apparently it was gorgeous. And she goes, the the Moonscale tribe. They said that after the Empire left the island, or when it crumbled, when the Empire crumbled and the island was theirs again, they mostly hid in the reefs and lived in the reefs. They said that, well, they were friends with the Sahagin tribe that was there. Like, they would trade and, coexist. They would bring things from the island to them, and the Sahagin would bring things from the depths to them to trade. And then they said, all of a sudden, their Sahagin friends, they became malicious and angry and drove them off and then the storm started. And she goes, if the Sahagin, she just shrugs as she's like ladling out like this bowl of porridge for like one of the crew members, and she's just like, my guess is something's down in the reef, and she goes, there was about a year back, we had another group wash ashore, and she kind of nods off to the distance, and there's like 4 Dragonborn in the village. She goes, the Dragonborn ship crashed, and their leader, and she looks to you, Amon. She goes, kind of dressed in the same kind of armor as you, same kind of weaponry, but bigger. He heard that there was something, and then he, out in the reef, and he got pissed, saying that he wished he'd be able to like go down there and fight it himself, but then he went off into the jungle. And
Probably to go fight it himself.
And she goes, well, okay, I should clarify. He's still around. He's out in the jungle. He lives over in the swamp. But apparently he's been, she shrugs and goes, honing himself for the day that he can go beneath the waves and kill this threat. She just kind of shrugs like, we've had a bunch of people say they want to go down there and take it out, but how? And she goes, you of us can breathe fine underwater, or she gestures to one of the Warforged, and she's like, or don't need to breathe, but none of us are strong enough, I guess.
Fair.
Hunting
That she
monsters
just
is
kinda-
one thing. Trying to hunt them in the wrong turf is something else.
Yeah, true. And it's like getting down in the reef. That's got to be well defended.
Well defended, hard to do if you don't breathe the water. He's
And she
probably
just kinda-
trying to hone his skills to be as excellent as it can be in that environment.
And she goes, well, I mean, the swamp's the most waterlogged area without going into the ocean, so I mean, I guess it makes sense. So yeah, she just kind of like shuffles off to help other people with the morning stuff. And actually, sorry, never mind. So what do y'all want to do? You've got your breakfast, a little bit of details on what threat is happening. What do y'all want to do for the day? Oh, actually, Matilda would come by and say she would be like, all right, what kind... She would have come during the breakfast and like start asking like what your skills are, like what do you think you could contribute. She mentions, she goes, Ray and Anchor told me you were up all night with them. Nice.
Uh-huh.
But she says, she goes, we're always looking for people that can go out and hunt. We've got a decent store of food, but it's always good to have more. You know, also patrols to make sure the Ankeg aren't spreading out this far. Normally they stick to the swamp and eat the trees there, or sometimes there's other threats in the jungle that we have to make sure aren't getting too close. So there's patrols, there's gathering. You could be like Jaren and go scour the beaches. You can help Marlene and Erid if you have any skill at fishing or livestock tending. And she's just like, you don't have to you don't have to do intense work, but we prefer if everyone contributed in some way.
Shrugs.
I spent my whole life on the sea, hunting its creatures. Any way I can help with that?
Marlene, Matilda goes, well, Marlene would probably, if you don't have any experience with the sea cows, I'm sure Marlene would appreciate the help with them, but don't really. Most of the fishing we do is some of our boats. And Brian, you might have seen it when you were doing like a little patrol around if you actually went by the cliff. The boats are actually hauled up against the cliff during the night and then lowered back into the water.
Okay.
But she goes, we just have some repurposed lifeboats or rafts that we just go for fishing in the inlet. But and she kind of like looks at the group and she goes, I noticed some of you are militantly capable, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, killing things, if that's what you mean.
Yes.
Yes.
I am trained as a combatant, yes.
And Jaren told me you were able to deal with the big white beast out there, so get you all here intact, so...
And deal with is a way of saying it. What really happened is bird lizard over there distracted it long enough for us to skedaddle.
I mean, that's good enough. I'm just saying, there is a member of our tribe, I guess. 10 years and I still feel weird saying that. One of our members, Jairus, they were from the same ship that Anchor was on when they crashed. Triton fellow, they're over, and she points off, and actually, during the day, I know I keep jumping between the two maps, she kind of points off to where you can't see she's like, there's a small ruined outpost of the Empire over there. Member of our tribe, Jairus, Triton. Haven't heard from him in a while, so it'd actually be nice if you could go check on him.
Yeah.
Yes, that sounds like something we could arrange.
Yeah.
Not too far of a trip. You'd probably get there by noon if you don't run into
Making
anything,
sure, are we saying check on him in the literal sense or check on him in the implied threat sense?
No, I want to see if he's still alive.
Okay, so the literal sense. Gotcha.
I was asking I was just making sure that I'm not sending just sailors out into the jungle.
It's just in my experience, that's a question you want clarified up front.
And she kind of squints at that. She goes, I'm not going to ask what you did before you got here, but that's a fair thing. All right. And
the answer is crimes.
And she laughs at that. She goes, I mean, I'm not going to judge. I don't know if my warrant is still active, but she goes, not that I'd ever tell you what the warrant's for. And she just laughs at that. She goes,
warrant?
I mean, yeah.
Time?
She goes, I just wanted to make sure he's still alive, make sure he hasn't buried himself under Magitech or whatever he's managed to dig up. Apparently, this island, I'm sure you've heard, Ruby Empire, but also it was originally a Marician outpost before the Empire took it over. It's changed hands several times, but really it's the lizards.
Ryoko turns to Rayon and says, Rayon, a crime is when you do something that the people with the most money disapprove of.
Money?
And Matilda
Oh.
laughs at that. She goes, I mean, you're not wrong. Sister, you're not wrong.
What is money?
Money is something that people made up to give assholes power over everyone else.
Ah. Money is bad.
Money is the root of all evil.
Oh.
Somewhere.
But it can also buy a lot of beer. So it's kind of a mixed thing.
Money is the root of all evil. God.
I thought money was printed coin.
Yes, that's also what it can be sometimes.
God. Somewhere there's a cleric of Ospidid, or Ospibid. God, why did I write that name so weird? There's a cleric of Ospibid that's like, there's someone being heretical about money. Ospibid, I haven't mentioned them. They are one of the dragon gods. They are the dragon of hoards and money.
Oh.
No, not really hordes. They aren't evil. They are actually lawful neutral, because their thing is they are the god of economy, and their thing is they want money moving through the economy because the economy is their metaphysical hoard. But they don't want it being hoarded by people. They want it in circulation.
Oh my god.
That's rather interesting.
That's amazing.
It's one of the dragon children of the dragon goddess who came to the planet with dragons.
So what you're saying
was
is
one of the first eggs.
Ryoko just has to blaspheme some more, and somebody will show up at this island to fight her, and then we can all get off of it?
No, it's just me making a joke, because it's like, oh wait, I've been meaning to introduce this god.
Darn it.
That's so funny. That is really neat, though.
Ryoko should still blaspheme some more about money.
And it's actually
Ryoko will blaspheme quite a bit.
I actually posted about it in the lore brig. That's why the common oh, I completely messed up. See, it's under lore brig. Bezdius. Obsabid is a different dragon. Bezdius is the dragon of the count. Yes, that's why for our listeners, money, distribute the most commonly used money in the system or the setting is the currency minted and distributed by the Church of the Balanced Ledger, which are copper pieces, which are copper claws, silver fangs, gold scales, and platinum wings.
Mm.
And actually, the clerics wear scale mail out of gold coins because they look like scales.
Oh my god.
Certainly not because they're extra motherfuckers.
Oh no, they are.
They're
banker clerics.
I was being sarcastic. They're absolutely extra motherfuckers.
Sorry, random lore tangent. It's just like,
yes,
I can actually describe something.
Ryan points in the direction of the ruins. Let's go do a crime.
Yeah, that's the spirit, kid.
Is checking on people crime?
There is a wrinkle on Amon's face for a brief moment.
Is checking on people crime?
I mean, no one's stepping up to be a good influence. So
if we pissed off someone rich, it is.
Okay.
What'd you...
Corona goes, it can be at the same time. Like, if you're checking on somebody and don't stop when they tell you to, then yes, that is a crime.
Crime. Looks to Ryoko. Crime good.
Oh, crime's great.
Good.
Amon's got a face in his hand as I have a face in my hand.
And actually, Amon.
Yes.
Oh, actually, I should say. So, Matilda's like, so you all are okay with going checking on Jarrus. They'll give you a chance to go out and experience the jungle yourselves. It's literally within eyesight, so we shouldn't be too worried about you getting lost. It's semi-insight, but just follow the cliffs, and you should be able to get back to us if you get lost.
Okay. Should be simple enough.
And so the group's agreeing to this, and
Yes.
Bradar says he'd probably be better here. There's like a water wheel that they have that it's not on the map, but it's broken down, and he goes, I could probably help fix that up. I know a little bit about clockwork. So he just kind of like flexes his hand, but as you all agree, and then like you start getting ready. Amon. A blue scaled dragonborn actually walks up to you. He goes, excuse me, you're a samurai, yes?
Yes, I am. I am Amon.
They actually. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm blanking on what's the name of the dinosaur island again?
Gardinia.
I am Amon of Gardinia.
And he switches to Draconic, because you know Draconic, right?
Yeah, you put it as one of the native languages.
Yes. He goes, and he switches to it. He goes, oh, haven't seen a samurai wash ashore since we washed ashore at the what was it? I don't know what the term would be, or what the officer. And he goes, I hear you're going to go check on the Triton.
Yes.
If possible, you and this group, we wanted to go check ourselves, but we're not. We were just sailors and servants, but we want to check on our commander. Do you think you could convince them or convince Matilda to go investigate the swamp and check up on him? We haven't heard from him in a while. He would occasionally come back to the village for some supplies that he couldn't forage himself. But
he has not been back in a while.
It's been a few weeks. He's been gone longer, but still, if they're sending out people, we've asked Susanna and some of the other hunters, but they never go out that far. And the river's its own obstacle, so.
We will make our way there. Do a courtesy visit. I am curious to meet him myself.
Yes, he was a masterful samurai in his own right.
Excellent to hear. I will make sure that he is doing okay.
And they say, it's Orovir is his name. I'll write that.
I shall make sure we take. Go ahead.
He just described the dragonborn describes Orovir as a black dragonborn.
I shall make sure we detour to give a check on Orovir for you.
Much appreciation. He's a formidable warrior in his own right, but we worry.
It is not a bad thing to worry for these sorts of situations.
I'm forgetting the specific term, but they are referring to him in like a term that is like both commanding officer and like master, not like a slave master, but more like how butler will be like, oh yes, of course, master, so and so. It's like someone of authority. It's a position of authority.
Lord, basically.
Not sort of. It's not like. It's actually something I really need to go. And Amon, you would know this because of samurai training and the connection between the dynasties and Gardinia. But the Draconic dynasties are very rigidly organized. They are. It's I still need to go and actually write down the different names and titles and stuff. But it sounds like the guy actually goes. He is we come from a minor house, but he is the son of one of the heads of our house, and we worry for him, even in spite of his skill. Or they kind of laugh and goes, well, it's because of his skill that we worry that maybe he will challenge something he is unprepared to face alone.
I understand. I will make sure that he is checked upon and that he is doing fine.
And they thank you before they excuse themselves to go deal with. They seem to be they do textiles. They do weaving actually. They would be like a weaver. But
Cloths are probably useful for that.
Yeah. You have your first 2 assignments, and both of them are personnel check or hospital, just checking in on
Wellness
people.
checks.
Wellness checks. That's the term.
Vibe checks.
And depending on hold on, people are at my door.
Are you going to tell us about it, Amon, or are you going to wait?
I would say before we get out of the town, it'd be the Dragonborn have asked me a favor that I wish to fulfill for them while we are out.
Sorry, people were handing me Taco Bell.
So yeah, I will approach a couple of the others here in the party.
Okay.
Probably Corano and Ione. And just be the Dragonborn Weavers of the village want us to check in on their and he pauses over the word for a minute. Their higher in command charge, Orovir of the Swamps. He is a samurai.
I guess it would be a rough. Would be a captain in a military rank, or a lieutenant.
They wish to check it.
Someone in command, but not high up the chain.
Their immediate superior is out in the swamps and has not been seen for a couple of weeks. They asked if, since we were heading out, could we swing into the swamps? I plan on doing so. On our way to do our other wellness check. If that is all right with you, you may come. If not, well, it should be interesting.
The swamps are out this way, isn't it?
Yes.
So it'd probably be
they
quicker
said that
to...
he was mainly he was mainly hanging out, as far as he told them, around the main swamp area at the base of the volcano, dormant volcano mountain, as the villagers would say. It's never erupted since, as far as anyone has been here that they can remember. They think it's dead. But they say they're down in the swamp. And yeah, that is to the east, while Jairus is here. Jairus is here to the east, while the swamp is over here to the west.
So looking at the map, they'll just say it'd probably be easier to check on Jarek, then move back to the village, and then head off to the swamp.
I would not mind coming with you, no.
Oh, you're more than welcome to, but I did not want to just automatically presume that you would be coming with.
You shouldn't go alone.
It's dangerous to go alone. Take this.
Did Rand give us
already learning our memes.
Grand
That's like my heart.
Did Rand hand a leaf when she said that?
What? Oh no, I was.
When she said it's dangerous, go roll and take this. She handed.
I know she didn't actually say that. I was just making it so funny.
Yeah.
No, I don't. She doesn't actually have much to give.
Yeah, the Quiet Art's only suggestion was just like, we hit this place, come back to the village, and then hit the swamp. It'd be quicker.
It seems reasonable to me.
What was the word, Amon? You said about
It
captain?
would be. I would probably say lieutenant.
Okay.
Um,
What is lieutenant?
oh yes, you don't know anything about militaries.
Military?
So when people get scared of big threats, they group together to defend from
Oh.
big threats.
Oh.
Lieutenant is not high up on the top of list, but is above bottom of list.
Yeah. Yes.
And the Weavers are below the person in the swamp, Orvix in the swamps. They are concerned about Orvix. We are going to go find him.
She eyes look. No, later maybe. No birds, unless need to.
No birds yet.
Amon still needs spears.
No, Corano just poof.
Poof. Okay, fine. I see I'm not wanted.
Or about the swamps. I mean,
As we're going, I would like to take Corone aside.
Okay.
Like, she gives you like a tug.
She'll stop.
technically, you're still in the village. You haven't left yet, but
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna wait till we leave.
okay. So, I will say that gathering up, getting ready, you get some food and water for the trip, prepare for the day. Okay, so yeah, no one really needs to talk to you as you leave, so yeah, once you start heading out, Corrado, you
Yeah.
feel a tug on your arm.
You smart.
She actually makes that noise.
You know words. Things.
Yes.
She looks at the others to make sure there's like some distance between them. Have you heard of the Hungry Sea?
You can roll a religion with, wisdom for that one.
Okay. Same roll.
13. It sounds vaguely familiar. Like you know of the. For a moment, you wonder if she means Jurgisit, the Dweller in Dark Waters, which is a demon lord of the Dark Ocean or the Deep Ocean. But Hungry Sea isn't really a moniker that fits them, but then again, there are many things in the sea that are, strange and hungry. But Jurgisit might be what she means. They are typically depicted as, among other things, a monstrous manta ray that's completely black and seems to be almost made of oil itself.
Do you mean she's gonna pause?
Awesome, man.
I'll post the name for that one.
She's gonna pause after she says that and goes, she's not gonna know the name if she doesn't, she hasn't given that to me. So she goes, does it look like a manta ray made out of...
And specifically, you would know that appears as a manta ray with skin made of oil with large human eyes underneath the wings.
No.
And that is the most basic like depiction of it, like a large black manta ray that has eyes on the wings.
Yeah,
That's a cat mental image.
She's gonna give Brine that description before she asks about if she knows the name of Jurgaset.
Does that thing sound familiar?
That does ring a bell, and it's kind of like the same vibe that Corona was saying. It's like a demon of the ocean, but it's different than what you're thinking of.
No, too small.
That is the only one I have heard of. I am sorry.
Okay.
I will think on it, and if I find anything else, or think of anything else, I will let you know.
Thank you.
She's just gonna...
And this was out of earshot of the group, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she waited to be out of earshot. And if people wanted to listen, they totally could, because Ray's ass itself, but...
Yeah, and Carano's just fucking bright as hell in the middle of this green forest.
Yeah,
so...
I guess it would be up to individual preference if anyone wanted to listen in.
No,
I guess they would like, anybody could just like look back and see you two were hanging back, and then, okay.
Yeah. Carano's just gonna give her a nod and continue on her path. She doesn't find anything weird about that at all, that she wanted to say that alone.
Actually, I would say, just for a little more lore flavor, Corona, you would know that Jurgasit is a sworn enemy of Jamala, the Reef Mother, which is the kind of it's the mother goddess of both the Brine Dwarves and the Karkanos. Not literally mother, but she's like the protective deity of both cultures. Jamala is either seen as like a brine dwarf woman or a massive crab that is so massive that a reef grows on her back, like a coral reef grows on her back. But those are the you would know that she's like the Jurgasit is like a tenacious foe of her, as for like dominion of the deep.
As they're walking, Carano will like casually begin telling that to Rayon as she is listening, but she's gonna say that as she's walking.
And Rayon, the name Jamala, it is a familiar one, and actually it would be familiar to basically anyone because she is one of the more popular deities for worship. But she's known to be, a very benevolent and caring goddess.
Okay, but would Rayan have any unique feelings about this goddess?
Not maybe like a fond familiarity, like almost like thinking it's like, oh, that's an old friend. Haven't talked to them in a while. Wonder what they're up to. Kind of like feeling, but nothing like too intense.
Oh, yeah, yes.
Yeah, it's a Reef Mother of Comforting Depths is her full title because...
That's awesome. Reef Mother.
Yes, that's one of her titles.
Yes, I know the Reef Mother.
Yes, she is very good to know.
And actually, since the group minus Rayan would be coming from the 4 main archipelago, her imagery is all over the archipelago. She's like the chief goddess of the Brine Dwarves.
Okay. 1 second. Yeah.
Her hair and beard are typically depicted as seaweed.
Oh, I love that.
But We are almost getting to the end, so I know some people are feeling tired, so I don't know if if anyone wants to go late, and I don't know if people have tomorrow. Oh wait, tomorrow's Saturday. I'm so used to running games on Sunday, I keep thinking tomorrow's Monday.
I can play longer, but I do need to piss really bad.
Yeah, I actually do need to take a quick little break too. So,
Nora,
as you're all heading...
Nora has to go to work early tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
So it might be a good point to end.
You have to go to work at like 9 tomorrow, right?
Yeah, but like I don't gotta get up till I get up at 7, so like I can keep going.
I mean, if you want to, that's fine.
I am out of steam.
Yeah, and I know DZ's pretty tired too. So, I mean, we're setting off from the village. This is a good spot to end. So,
if people are still good to keep going, I can go. I'm getting up at like 7 in the morning, but it's only
there's people are getting tired too.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I guess we will leave off here as the group starts heading off to go to the ruined Ruby Empire outpost where the Triton Jerris is waiting. And, well, supposedly waiting. But, I hope you all had fun.
Did?
You did.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to Rondo Island.
I was very afraid that polar bear encounter was going to go differently.
Yeah.
That thing stepped out of the woods, and I'm like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, I noticed right from the get-go. I was like, that's not normal bear size.
I saw that bear, and I'm like, it's a bear. It's a big old bear.